Crossover. Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover.
It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
Time for the crossover. It's brought to you by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com.
Yeah. I got the fever. It's conference tournament baseball fever.
Is that small TV on BTN?
It is.
I don't want to miss first pitch.
We're 3 minutes away still from any live programming on the Big Ten Network.
Don't you think they could have done like at 9:50, just come on the air and done a little show?
They can literally, like, they do the big show every day. Just do the big show at 9:30.
The Big East just announced their all-conference teams. Like, why doesn't the Big Ten come through right now and do a half-hour show announcing their all-conference teams?
It almost like it would make too much sense.
Do you think Dave Revson, like, hates his life? Like, come on, God. Because, no. Dave knows.
But it's in his
football.
deal.
He's football
Yeah,
pilled.
he doesn't do any baseball.
Yeah. Football pilled.
Yeah, they're
stupid
they're
conference.
They're a little bit limited on the people that want to engage in baseball because, like, the SEC has between games show out at Hoover.
It's
the
beautiful.
ACC, I think, moves their network show.
Oh, they probably got Schick doing something over there.
Yeah, I don't know what the Big 12 does, but like the Big 10, I don't think anybody outside of BTN and the league office is like the talent for BTN is here to do like an auxiliary show.
No. Content.
Like between games, you do like a rap.
Well, we've said before, like, there's not one ad for, hey, come on down.
We
cheap
need some
tickets.
We need some.
baseball.
No, it's not cheap tickets. It's $30.
It's $30.
Goo!
Well, because one ticket gets you into all three games.
Yeah, but I'm not going to go to all three
So
games.
let's discuss this. Is
it really?
Yeah,
$30.
It's one ticket gets you all three games. It's $30.
Okay.
And it's all GA, just wherever.
I believe so.
That.
Oh no, not
that
all
can't
GA.
be right.
But are they going to enforce it?
No,
I just
because there won't be anybody there.
But it's tough if you're only coming to the 6:00 game tonight and you walk up to the window and they say, "Sorry, we don't. Okay, this will be $13."
Okay, I'm on the Ticketmaster right now.
$30.
Let's just say I want tickets for just today.
Just walk up at 6 and be like, can I go in?
Yeah, wait for the fourth inning. No one's going to be there anyway.
Dude, what? This website is ridiculous.
Ticketmaster?
Yeah.
I said,
it's
to
like a
purchase
Taylor-
tickets, click here. And I clicked here, and then it takes me to this blank Ticketmaster thing. Here we go.
Well, it's a Taylor Swift concert. Too many people are trying to get Big Ten tournament tickets.
That's wrong.
What line are you in the queue? What line? How far back are you?
I could buy all session tickets.
I'll never forget that, walking into the football media room on the day that the Taylor Swift tickets went on sale, and like there were so many media members who were on their computers trying to get Taylor Swift tickets for their daughters.
Bunch of weirdos.
I mean, weirdos.
They're just providing for their family, Connor Happer.
I enjoyed it. It was
Providing Taylor Swift tickets.
It was a great show.
But pump out some more podcasts. That's how you provide for your family.
Are you locked on?
Yeah.
You're locked on to providing for your family?
Exactly.
That'd be a great
I don't even know
podcast
how
name.
much any of this costs.
Help Connor Happer provide for his family podcast.
I'm trying to buy one ticket, one all session ticket. It's somewhere in between 65, and then I can't advance past this screen. I hate this stupid website. I clicked on a seat already.
Just take a deep
I picked
breath.
my seat.
Just take a deep breath. It's gonna be okay.
You
Just
know
keep
what?
swimming.
I'm getting out of town. I'm not. So $136.50 for all session, two all session tickets in section 107.
Oh,
That is
wow.
for the whole wait
all
wait.
session, any game. You get 100 games.
Okay.
Oh,
I was
okay,
I was,
okay.
I
All
was saying
session.
like over the week, right?
Yes, over the week.
Okay.
Yes, over the week. Over the
Hell
week.
no.
I guess that's a
No,
good-
it ain't. No, it ain't. It is not.
The impetus is on you to make that a good value.
Exactly. If you love
But you
college
can.
baseball, and all you want to do this week is go to college baseball games, maybe it's worth it. For the average human, no.
I feel like I like college baseball a great deal, but that ain't the brand of
Okay,
baseball
so
I
I'm
want to
on
go watch.
I'm on
No.
SeatGeek.
No, don't do that. We don't need the secondary markets.
Whoa,
Well,
Cal
it's
beat
much
Miami
cheaper.
9-0.
It's much cheaper on
9-0.
Yeah. You know
It's
what?
10 in the morning.
They started at
9:30.
9. No, so they started at 10 local, so 9 here.
Oh,
So they're
wow.
flying through this game.
Look at that. Look at
That
that beautiful
ballpark,
ballpark.
Oh,
Connor, is
I love,
awesome.
I love
it's
that
so
place.
sunny there.
I've been to many games at Durham Bulls Athletic Park. It is a lovely place to watch a game. They
How
have
much does it seat?
I can't imagine more than probably 10-ish thousand.
It looks awesome. It looks like there's like a little city around it.
Yeah, it is. It's tucked into. I think it's one of Duke's like ancillary medical school campuses. I think, and yeah, they have a big wall out and left. And I think recently they've just made the wall a scoreboard.
Yes,
it's like it's like the Green Monster, but it's not quite as big.
When they do a wide shot,
they just made the whole thing a scoreboard.
Oh, you can't hit the bull and win.
Hit bull, win steak is on top.
Okay,
it's on top. It's the big cow on top. Hit grass, win salad.
Now,
that's all still
the
there.
original home of the Durham Bulls still exists, right?
No, I don't.
They tore it down?
I don't think so. They might have some sort of like demarcation, like here's where it was, but yeah, it's a nice area. It's don't go too far off because then you're in Durham and you don't want to be in Durham. But
okay,
no, I'm serious.
Connor Happer here from Durham, North Carolina.
I know my triangle.
Like it's a bad town, or there's just not a lot.
It's not a good part of town.
Crime ridden.
Durham. Yeah.
Okay. Didn't know that.
The main streets of Durham.
You remember when Anthony's closed, Anthony's Steakhouse, and they had the bowl?
Yes.
I wanted Omaha Athletics to buy the bowl and put it above the right field wall.
There you go.
Put it right at the entrance to Baxter Arena at 67th and Center.
We're doing a whole bunch of improvements to the Chuck box for next year. Why don't we get that bowl back and we put it on top of something? Put it on top of the new scoreboard in left center.
That's where the large bowl, and I think a guy that owns a truck stop in North Dakota bought it.
No, I thought it was like Columbus, right?
Was it?
Or
so it's close to home. We could go and
we did this on a podcast, or we did this on a crossover once. Where is the Anthony's bowl?
Can you imagine a big giant bowl right at the entrance to Baxter Arena?
Columbus.
It is in Columbus. All right.
Yeah. It's at the T-Bone truck stop in Columbus. 45 grand. That's how much he bought.
That's right. We have done this. I remember now.
Yeah. 45 grand.
What
I buy it back.
Let's see, is there anything from Johnny Sortino's that you would buy?
A couple, arcade machines. Yeah.
The oven.
The oven.
The sign outside is kind of iconic.
Yeah.
No, I'm being honest.
A little bit.
The oven. You want to buy the oven. Those pizza ovens go for a lot. Because you
just put a pizza oven like in the outfield at the Chuck,
but then you can flip it and sell it to a restaurant.
Well,
vendor.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like
we're saying like Omaha landmarks. Like we're gonna put the oven next to the statue.
What if you had a Johnny Sortino's in memoriam booth at the Chuck?
I don't know.
Little flavor to Omaha.
It would feel weird walking into the downtown ballpark with a Johnny Sortino's.
Yeah. In memoriam.
Yeah, it just doesn't feel right.
Pizza Shack.
Like, how do you feel?
Just the oven right there in left field.
And the family is getting out of the business. They're retiring.
Yeah.
And they, like COVID really changed everything. Like their hours changed where they're not open that much.
Sad.
And even the people that work there forever. But now all of a sudden, how would you feel if you owned it? That all of a sudden people are coming. Oh, I didn't know you guys were going out
every
of business
single time.
Going to retire.
This is what happens. Yeah, every single time.
It's the Choco Taco experience.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what it is.
The Hostess Twinkie.
Yeah, where everyone's like, how dare you? How could you let the Choco Taco? Like, when was the last time you had a Choco Taco, my man?
There was a store, it was in the Gateway Mall. It was like a Husker store in Lincoln. The Gateway Mall.
Yeah.
It was a Husker store. And I swear to God, they announced 4 to 6 times that they were closing. And I don't know if it's still alive to this day, but they were like, we're having a big closing blowout. That happened at least 4 times.
There was a place, End Zone kind of does that.
Did End Zone close?
End Zone is still open, right?
End Zone is very open.
It's very open.
Yeah.
But like, I think it was my heading into my senior year of college, they were like closed, like during the summer or whatever. Like they just like the doors was always shut and they never put like, oh, hey, we're closed or anything, but you could never like eat End Zone. And then a week later I opened it up and I went in, I had lunch. And then I come back another week later and the door's closed.
Maybe they closed for the summer with the children out of town.
I just never knew when End Zone was open. And then someone ended up telling me, yeah, they do that a lot where they just open the doors and close the doors. And then they're like, oh, everybody, we're back open, come in.
That's what I would say.
You know?
As much as I don't like it as a consumer, if I'm a restaurant owner, I'm like, hey, look, it's my restaurant. All right.
Yeah.
I close whenever the hell I want. Right. If nobody's going to be here, then I can't have you walk in the restaurant. I'm out of here. Sorry.
That's pretty sneaky to do. We're closing. And then we're not closed anymore.
We're not closing. We're not closing.
All right, full price again.
So people are going to show up.
Did they have like a we're going out of business sale like
yes,
4 times?
this place, I don't know what it was called, but it was a Husker shop in the mall.
Can you imagine they're looking at the pay stubs? They're like, guys, the going out of business scale actually is really good business.
It worked. It kept us in business.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe if we just kept going out of business, we'll stay in business.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
That's actually a great business model.
I think that happened with the very a large amount of Shopcos as well. They had a lot of closing.
The Shopco
blowouts.
on 84th did that a couple of times.
Doesn't
Shopcos and Gordmans. I swear to God that they said that Gordmans was closing for a decade before Gordmans closed.
Doesn't old Nordstrom kind of do that? Like
Nordstrom,
the big department store, Nordstrom, where they have the Nordstrom sale, and it's basically
the big department stores.
The big like, hey, it's basically, hey, we're going out of business sale.
By the way,
year.
Can we count on one hand the amount of like corner lot department stores that we have in our town left? I mean, do we have any that occupy those spaces in our malls? I mean, are all the ones at Oakview gone?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know about this area.
Westroads is healthy.
Westroads has the lots still. Let's see.
They have the Container Store.
Yeah, but that doesn't count
for now.
That doesn't count.
Whoa.
I will.
Out of business?
I will always be mad at the Container Store for taking away the food court. The food court was unbelievable.
What's the Container Store?
They sell containers.
They sell containers.
That's exactly what it sounds like.
Container Store declared bankruptcy.
And I got to tell you, Matt, it's hot.
Really?
In there. They're loaded.
Like
apparently not as much as they want to be.
Like hot in temperature or hot in like a lot of people.
There's people.
People like need containers.
When it opened, it was like, oh my gosh, we finally got a Container Store. Now I have a place to buy Tupperware.
Yeah,
I didn't have that before.
Yes, you did.
Exactly.
Great point, Matt.
They did, Matt. Interesting.
You definitely. Yeah. There's a thing called Target, guys. There's a thing called a Walmart. You have a Superstore in Council Bluffs, and you have a regular Walmart on Center. Center in California.
You nailed it. You got it.
There's plenty there.
You're exactly right.
Why is it hot? It's like too many furniture.
Okay, here we go. JCPenney appears to still be cooking.
Yes.
So good job by them. Then there's a large one on the other side that has nothing.
Do you have
Weimar obviously still good to go.
Do you have a Kohl's here?
Yeah,
many.
Do you have Marshalls here?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you have a Macy's here?
No.
No.
Do you have a Lord and Taylor here?
No.
Do you have a Nordstrom's here?
Nordstrom Rack, baby.
Yeah, we got some racks.
Okay. Do you have an Old Navy?
Many.
Do you have a Gap?
Many.
Yes.
Do you have a Nordstrom Rack?
I just said that.
Oh, you have a rack?
Yes.
You have the rack?
Yeah. It's new at a Village Point.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any more.
It took over Bed Bath & Beyond.
You have a Forever 21.
Yeah, but isn't that the one that's dying, Josh, at the Westroads, Forever 21?
Yes, I believe it is.
We have a
now
3-level
closed.
Forever 21.
Oh Lord.
That took away our beautiful, beautiful tilt. And now it sits empty in Westroads Mall.
I'm out of department stores.
It's pretty good.
Thank you.
Let's see. Dick's,
You were able to
Dick's
rattle
count?
off quite a few.
That's what Chicago's known for. We have way too many.
I guess that's true.
We have
Sorry.
so many.
Nothing else. Not the beans.
No.
So we got
we had the
JCPenney and Weimar are still cooking at Westroads.
Oh my God. When the original Marshalls on Michigan Avenue closed down in Chicago, it was like you thought Abe Lincoln died. There was like a actual like memorial service for it. It was like a big deal. There were multiple schools who like took like field trips out there to see it before it like was gone.
Wow. On the Oakview map, JCPenney and Dillard's appear to still be alive. We have 2 department store size JCPenney's in town at our biggest malls.
Well,
they'll probably build one at the new Crossroads whenever that goes up in 2035.
The JCPenney at
there's a standalone JCPenney?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right there in the whole that area is. There's a lot of
I
stuff.
don't go down there very much. I don't go down to the pavilion.
Barnes and Noble isn't a department store; it's just a bookstore, right?
Yeah.
Dick's is a pretty sizable anchor of Westroads, though.
Yes, it is. You always go in through the Dick's store. That's where I always go in. Walk through Dick's. Remember the rock wall? That doesn't exist anymore.
It doesn't.
Very sad.
Remember
I still have mine.
Remember the Ferris wheel in Scheels that never is working?
No, that's still going. I was in there I was in there
It
last
was
week.
actually going. There were people
they,
on it.
They were moving kids in and out of that thing.
I have been to Scheels more times than I count. I've never seen it in operation.
Oh yeah, they were ripping that thing. It goes fast.
Yeah.
So I grew up
Too
with.
fast.
I
Is
grew
it
up with-
free?
No, they cost $. But if you sign up for the Scheels Visa debit card, then I don't know. You might get a discount.
I grew up with the Dicks, like 4
Good for
minutes,
you.
4 minutes away from where I grew up. Like that's where we went. Scheels clears it by a mile. So much so that I have to tell people back home about Scheels and how much better it is. Because essentially the whole like Nike apparel area that a suburban Dick's has is just been replaced with like fishing gear and hunting gear at a Scheels. And it's great. And it's awesome. Scheels is so much better than Dick's.
The Scheels in Lincoln
is great.
It's a monster.
That's the one with the aquarium
Yeah,
and a bowling alley.
It's like a whole mall in there.
It is. It's a mall within the Gateway Mall.
I mean, they used to have a regular old Scheels, and then they wrecked that Scheels to build a super Scheels.
Yes.
There is a Super Scheels.
It's a super Scheels.
You can buy pretty cool sport memorabilia at Scheels. Like that.
Sport memorabilia.
Like things that you can hang up, pictures,
like-
sign,
yeah.
like sign decor,
Hell yeah, for sure.
whatnot.
Yeah. Apparently, I was looking at the map there, but a couple people texting in and tweeting in. Dillard's is still rolling at Oakview. I looked at the Oakview map, and it's not as empty as I thought it would be. To be honest with you, you guys ready for this?
Hey,
If you walk in there,
walk through it,
yeah.
and the vibes are different than that
All right,
map.
Are
so
the bases already loaded in this Illinois Michigan game?
probably
Taking forever already.
they're in a commercial already.
we're going to be behind.
So where do you guys walk in? When you guys walk into Oakview, what
where
door are
where
you
the old
using?
Champs used to be.
Food court.
Remember where Champs was?
Yes.
That's where I always walk in.
All right. The door that's facing northwest.
Ortho, Nebraska.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's facing the racial ties Burger King.
Yes.
That's right. That happened there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So you enter that door.
Racial ties.
Y-
Burger.
Then you got a hallway to your right. You got a spa, a place called Torrid, and a Torrid large kids play area,
Yes.
finish line,
pretty good
Asian
play area.
massage, Nebraska, Iowa Railroaders. That's on the right side.
There's a train store in there.
Yeah, exactly. Left side, Express Jewelry Repair, Bath and Body Works, of course. Journeys, very small Journeys. Giant Victoria's Secret. Go, the calendar store, where our dear friend Austin Jacobson likes to meet people. And Holy Land Travel. That's on one wing,
Do you guys have a
with
bet-
a lot of empty lots in the middle. The Palace, Kicking Tigers, Simply Yours, Hellsberg Diamonds, Vision Works.
I want to jump in here and correct the record. The racial ties Burger King is at 120th and Center, not 144th and Center.
Really?
Yeah.
I always thought it was 144th
No.
and Center.
120th and Center.
I apologize.
Right
I
next to the
apologize
Daily
because I was
News.
thinking right on top of the hill at Oakview. Okay,
Across the
thank
street
you.
from Krispy Kreme is where it all went down.
Do you guys have a Bed Bath and
5 years ago.
We used to have a Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah.
It got taken over by Nordstrom Rack.
Got taken
Okay.
over by
That's a tough trade.
one of those alcohol stores on 72nd and Pacific.
Oh, wine, beer, and spirits.
Well, yeah,
Little
one
Ones.
of them.
Beers are
well,
us.
you guys know, guys. Have you guys ever been to a Benny's Beverage Depot?
I have actually.
Oh my God, man! If it ain't at Benny's, it's probably not worth drinking. Let
I've
me tell you
heard-
something right now. They're not lying. All
I've
right?
heard
They
Pat
are a great
Hughes.
Cubs sponsor.
I've heard
Yeah.
Pat Hughes talk
Yeah.
about Benny's Beverage Depot more than I
I'm
care
gonna
to
tell you
know.
something right now. You think it's like a joke or whatever? I have a Benny's card. It's worth it. I
Hey.
mean, they give you great deals. All right, they got everything you could think of there. My dad was like, "Hey, not a joke." He goes, "Back in 1997, I drank this one beer that I really, really liked. It's an IPA. I think it was called like this name, and it was this color. And I described it to that person at Benny's. And he goes, 'Oh yeah, here we go.' And he just walked me over, and I picked up that beer and I gave it to him."
That's service.
So when the Cubs play the Cardinals, does Pat Hughes still refer to Wilson Contreras as Wilson Contreras?
Yes.
Yes.
Why does he do that?
Because it's Pat, man. Why does Rex do what Rex does? It's HUD. It's
By the way,
Pat.
It's I suppose.
That's just kind of. I mean, that's just baseball announcers are weird and quirky. That's why do you think they're baseball announcers?
I don't know, but it's. I mean,
You think out of all the
Wilson-
broadcasters,
So
out of all the broadcasters, the baseball broadcasters are the weirdest ones. Okay?
There's a handful of players where he'll insert a pause.
I know.
Yeah.
Wilson
But he never,
Contreras.
Right.
So last night, you and I were watching FanDuel at the same
Barely.
time when FanDuel goes off in the 8th inning.
Yep.
But did you stick around for the post game with HUD? Because HUD is doing the pre and post on this trip.
No, I shut it off after the first break.
HUD was making seal sounds to the
Well,
fans.
they were in the kayak in the cove. They were in the kayak in the cove, which is great.
You know who wasn't doing that and their broadcast didn't crap out? Jake Eisenberg
That's right.
and the crew over on
Listen
1180
to
The Zone.
the radio.
Hey, real quick, guys.
Folks, we love the radio.
Already,
And Jake will even tweet pictures, so it's like you're watching television.
already in the top of the first, Michigan has made a pitching change.
Hell yeah.
Oh, we're going to be starting.
they're desperate.
Nebraska's starting at 9:00 tonight.
The bases
You can't start 0-1 in this pool play.
No.
No, you literally can't.
Well,
No, but that's
so-
what it is. Yeah, it's do or die. It's like you're in Game 7 of a regional right now.
yeah,
Because if Ty Horn gets into trouble after like 1 out, he gone.
He gone.
Yeah, he gone. Somebody else is coming.
So you could have all 3 games on Friday be meaningless
Uh-huh.
That's
yes, yes.
and
Love
still
it.
charge
That's what this is
$30 for the day.
Love the tournament.
Well, it's $70 for the entire tournament. It actually might be a better deal.
The Chili's at Oakview is out too. There's
Oh,
something
really?
moving into there.
The Chili's at
Yeah.
Oakview.
Chili's on 84th.
Busy.
Very poppin'. Brand new.
There
Looks
was-
gorgeous in that area.
There's a bunch of
It's a
little
gorgeous Chili's.
little chain restaurants.
It's a pristine Chili's.
Didn't they have a Longhorn Steakhouse right there?
Oh,
Yes.
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
my God.
one. I think there was another one.
Is there a Red Lobster around here?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
72nd.
All right.
Well, you go out to Oakview. There's
Yeah.
one out there too.
No, that's the next date. The next date I go on, I'm going to Red Lobster
Why?
Classy.
Cheddar biscuits.
well, that's where my parents' first date was at a Red Lobster.
So you're looking for magic or what?
I'm looking for.
For Mom?
I want to have that. They have this awesome shrimp pasta, the shrimp Alfredo there. God, I've been hankering for that, man. Do you ever like go through?
they
the
have
phases?
this awesome shrimp Alfredo
Yeah,
pasta.
They do. You ever been like
Smoking like a true 14-year-old.
Have you like gone a while without being to a place and then you start thinking about a certain item on that menu that you really want to eat and then it kind of like it entrances your head and you start tasting it. Like I can taste shrimp Alfredo pasta right now.
I don't think
I
have had
and
that
the
feeling.
biscuits.
I may have had that feeling, but not with Red Lobster's shrimp Alfredo.
Definitely not
pasta.
at Red Lobster. Yeah.
You ever have their white New England clam chowder?
I hope it's white.
I have teeth.
Well, there's a red clam chowder that you can have as well, which is also pretty good.
I wouldn't recommend that.
Red clam chowder is good clam chowder.
Not as good as the white clam chowder.
I don't see
think,
clam chowder in terms of color.
I think
Josh doesn't eat soup because he has teeth.
Nice job, Ryan Clark.
I didn't even dive into that yesterday. What happened there? What? How personal did it get?
insert brick from the Anchorman. Wow, that got out of control really quickly.
Did it really?
Yeah,
I
and-
killed a man.
What did he
It
say?
is not the first time they have beef.
No. So they
Oh.
have past history.
Mhm.
I think it's when they were teammates.
You can
Ryan Clark talked about RG3 refers to his wife's skin.
Oh,
And so he brought that into the conversation as well.
sure.
But
That's
there was-
always a great
It
step.
it turned in from, it became personal. Instead of just a debate, it like took a whole turn and everybody's like, oh my God, what is going on?
Yeah.
Because it was embarrassing.
It went from RG3 had an opinion about Angel Reese, and then Ryan Clark goes, "Well, RG3's wife isn't black, and so he
Woof.
doesn't know the struggles of black women in America." And then RG3 was like,
All
"Dude, you're a piece of crap." And then Ryan Clark retweeted it, being like, "You were the worst teammate ever in a locker room and in ESPN."
So okay, on that, just that, by
Yeah,
the way.
go ahead. Yeah,
When he got fired from ESPN, it didn't seem like anybody really cared.
no,
It
Yeah.
it didn't really like. Maybe he's not great. I don't know because
Well,
it didn't. Nobody like came to his defense.
It's a great
I liked
point.
him on air, but he just had to avoid being a weirdo.
Yes,
But he
Or-
can't
but he
because
can't.
that's who
be
he
the
is.
weirdo.
yeah.
Yeah.
He just is.
He goes too far though.
Yes.
But nobody like came to his defense. It was
No.
like, I love RG3 and this is a shame what ESPN did.
No-
Like nobody did that.
Nobody quote tweeted and are like, "Hey, get RG3 a job," or "Help my
Right.
buddy out," or like, "Man, working with Robert every day at college game day was such a privilege. He's so young and he's got a lot." Nobody did that.
Yeah.
Nobody
It's
did.
very interesting, isn't it?
Well, I don't think it's interesting at all. I don't think anybody likes him.
Okay, there you go.
You know,
It's not
but
interesting.
that still doesn't make it right for Ryan Clark to be like, "You got a white wife. You
True.
gotta shut up."
True. But it feels like it's years
Crazy
and years
statement.
of pent up, like, I don't really like
Oh.
this guy, so let's just attack him.
Oh,
Let's just
pent
bury
up.
him. Yeah.
Pent up for sure.
How did Missouri baseball get so bad?
I don't
They were
know.
3-27.
Max
Those 3
Scherzer's
wins
rolling
over
in his
A&M.
Max Scherzer's rolling in his grave right now.
Max Scherzer's dead.
He's dead. He's Missouri dead.
Might as well be.
Oh,
Like Missouri baseball was never like great, but it was more competitive than 3-27 in the league.
Oh, they were pretty good for a minute in the Big 12. I mean, they were rolling. There was
so
some
they had Scherzer, they had
pretty
Aaron Kroll,
epic Aaron Crow,
and Kyle
baby.
Gibson.
The Crozer. But he was a starter at Missouri.
Chili's, baby.
But their field is like
Yeah.
so small.
Yeah, they got really bad. Alabama won 40 games this year.
Yeah. They hired the head coach from Maryland. Look what happened to Maryland baseball.
Yeah, they tanked. Well, because old boy got fired for betting at Great American Ballpark.
That's right.
Sad.
Which is ironic that that's where Pete Rose,
Yep.
I
in the
know
city.
a guy.
He didn't bet at the FanDuel Sportsbook at
Gotta
that ballpark,
take
though.
this bet.
I was thinking, like, if Creighton wins twice, tomorrow and Thursday, we got a day off on Friday. Reds Cubs Friday from Cincinnati.
You have to go.
Little bandbox.
I think so. I think I might make my way down there. I don't know.
Now
what
that
everybody else-
ballpark is not free.
Great.
No.
Yeah, you
Just
guys
want you to know.
Yes, I know.
And-
But you can swear.
Okay, that's a good trade-off. They don't give out free Chick-fil-A, but I can swear. Got it. I'll go. And I can place a bet, apparently, according
yes,
to the
you can.
former Alabama coach.
You're an Ameristar guy, right?
I'm a card holder. I'm
Over
a-
the river. That's your favorite one.
Card holder of many, many casino establishments.
On my way back from the movie theater in Council Bluffs, I just stopped into the Ameristar Casino because I've never been there before.
It's the only place to be.
I just kind of walked in. I just took a game. I grabbed a Diet Coke.
Did you go
as
onto the boat?
always. No, I didn't.
You just went to the sports.
I just went. I went to the
just
sports
went
book.
to get a
Oh.
free coffee and Diet Coke.
No. I went to Horseshoe to get a free coffee and a Diet Coke. And then I just kind of sat back and drank my Diet Coke and drank my coffee. Then I went to the movie theater and I saw Thunderbolts. And then I stopped off at Ameristar because I was like, I've never been there. And then I walked through the casino. So I guess I did step
You
onto
did go
the
onto the boat.
I did go
Yeah.
onto the boat.
Yeah.
I'll
tell you what, the sports book there has
dice.
really good food.
So I was looking at the menu. I just sat down. She's like, will you be dining today? I go, no, I'm just looking at your prices. And then I
Legit.
just- yeah.
It's good.
I was like, I'll eat here.
Is it still sponsored by Barstool?
Spinach artichoke dip.
No. So
No.
Barstool was, so that's a Penn casino and Penn was with Barstool, but then Penn got out of that deal with Barstool and then it's ESPN bet now. So it's an ESPN.
Remember we had
Boy.
a deal with the whole crew from Barstool in 19? They were here in town and they were here for the whole time. Like
They kind of they kind of have a bunch of offshoot dudes like show up now. Remember last year the Frank guy was here.
I'm going to
he
be
was,
honest
he got
with
a
you.
picture with Peyton Manning.
There you go.
I don't know who is and who isn't employed by Barstool anymore. Like there are guys who I'm pretty sure they're employed by Barstool and they're not. And then there are guys who I didn't think they still were and they still are. Like I just found out recently Will Compton isn't with Barstool anymore.
No, he signed a huge deal with FanDuel.
Yeah, it's awesome for him.
I saw Frank's take about the Mets and Juan Soto. He was yelling
That's all that-
really loudly yesterday, and I was like, "Damn, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Frank."
Is there ever a time though where he isn't yelling?
No, there's not. He has to like wear like a.
So he has anxiety and he gets
He like the
So he has to
fidget
bite.
move. He bites. He starts biting stuff.
Have
And
you
so
seen?
He would eat the collar of his t-shirt, but they gave him like a little pad.
so
to
it's a
bite.
rubber
Yeah.
medallion that he chews on.
Yeah,
So have
Wild.
you seen the videos of him at New Jersey Devil games?
yeah. He's insane.
Wild.
Ask
He's putty.
He is.
ask some people around here about him showing up to Creighton Seton Hall games.
Yeah, he's sitting what baseline? Yeah.
Yeah.
Was he screaming?
Oh yeah, he loves Seton Hall.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's such a.
Why would I think that at some point in your career in Lincoln you were behind the Barstool Husker account?
Oh,
Who's
were
behind
you?
that?
I
That
know the
account really
guy.
went
I know the
down.
guy. Very, very good guy.
Tell
One of
him
my
he
very
stinks.
good friends. I have contributed and pushed some buttons with some.
oh
with some
really? You
Barstool.
ran a Barstool account?
I didn't run it.
Barstool Skurs?
Yeah, let's see.
I
So
didn't-
Creighton has a Barstool account.
I didn't
Do
run
they?
it.
I think they do.
I haven't seen it.
I just want to make clear. I never ran it, but I did provide material for it.
You did some freelance writing.
No freelance video taking. And I
They
have,
do original content over there.
and yeah, well, it's all kind of original content.
No, it's not. It's all stolen content.
I know. But it's original. It's originally stolen.
Oh, Barstool Jays. Barstool Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Well,
Because Barstool Huskers and Barstool Jays will get into it.
There you go.
so that guy who ran
tweeted in a
the
while.
Barstool Husker account actually got a job working at Barstool now in Chicago. So I don't know what, I don't want to say his name, but
Do some, yeah.
Hopefully
Hopefully
just
he
give
does.
it up. I mean, give him some
I
love.
think he did reveal who he was on the Barstool Skurs account. So I don't
Hopefully he
know.
does better tweets from Barstool's account than he does from the Barstool Skurs.
Yeah, Shamo's a good guy.
Shamo.
Yeah, good dude.
All right.
Good dude.
Well, hopefully,
I've been on that account.
hopefully
multiple
he's a
times.
better dude than his tweets are.
He's not the Twitter guy. He's not the Twitter. He doesn't do the Twitter.
Oh, okay. Whoever
He-
does that,
He
sucks.
does the Instagram. He does the Barstool Skurs.
Oh, there's an
Instagram.
Instagram. Jesus.
Oh yeah. The Instagram is
What
way
a
better.
what a burden to
Yeah.
have to do that.
So
So can you just do it though? Can you just like say you're Barstool?
No.
How does it
they're
work?
they're actually affiliated, and they're affiliated with Barstool, and you have to apply.
All of a sudden you get yourself into trouble because you show up to a bar and they got a sign that says some really questionable stuff on it.
Yeah.
Really questionable.
Yeah,
Really questionable.
I honestly don't think it was that questionable. It was just bad. It's just terrible.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. It was extremely questionable. Yeah.
So you have to apply through Barstool to
Oh,
be able
dear
to run
God.
the Barstool account, but you're not an employee of Barstool. You just run Barstool Skurs. Then when you're out of
Direct
college,
affiliate.
you then go ahead and you apply for a job at Barstool, and you cite the fact that you ran a Barstool Instagram account.
the Barstool Creighton prep account.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Seamus Doyle. That's your boy?
That's my guy.
Yeah.
Shamo and I.
Look at him. He did a reveal and did a graphic on
so
Is it very
Seamus-
similar to like the mascots? Because Herbie and Little Red.
So Brady is Brady Moylan. That's my friend as well. Brady was awesome. So Brady and Seamus both worked at Brothers Bar and Grill. And so my best friends worked at Brothers, and then so I got to know Seamus and Brady through going to that bar, and then I became friends with them that way. So I found out that Seamus ran the Barstool account, and he already knew who I was because I had popped up on there before. And then Brady one day just like brought me out back and goes, "Yeah, I'm Herbie Husker." I go, "Oh, what?" and he goes, "You can't tell anybody though, but like that's what I do."
You just told everybody.
Well, he revealed. He
They
revealed
did a
himself.
reveal this weekend.
Yeah, he
oh,
revealed.
yeah. The
I
That's
would
exactly.
never believe anyone who told me that.
Who told you that they were a mascot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would. I'd be like, why would you tell me this? So I believe you. There's no
Well,
reason for you to be
It was a
saying
big
this right
secret.
now.
Like I was told, like you can't tell anybody that you know
Well, they're not
who
supposed to-
Herbie Husker is,
they're not
and that
supposed
you
to tell
know it's
anybody.
Brady. Well, what Brady had to say was like, "Yeah, I'm on the cheer team," but then people would be like, "We never see you on the cheer team," and then he would just walk away from a conversation. or whatever.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
You've not seen on your TikTok all of the reveals
No, I
of
have.
mascots?
I have.
You seem very happy to.
A bit of a
That's where I
cynical
was
take
blown
about
away
it.
that Brutus was a female.
What's the cynical take? They did a lot of really good work for the university, and they want to get credit for it. They were behind a mask.
A
Dude,
lot
they
of
just-
really
And they were on
good
scholarship.
work.
They did.
They-
They did. They were mascots. It's hard to put
Oh,
on
the
that.
mascots.
Don't get
The
me wrong. I'm
mascots,
proud.
not Barstool.
I'm
Yeah,
proud of all
Seamus-
of them.
Seamus could nothing. But like Brady did a lot of really hard work for them, and so he should get credited for it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Seamus on the other just stirred the pot and just took a bunch of videos that people sent him, and there's actually a couple of videos that he got asked to take down from athletes.
Can I take your picture for Babe of
Like
the Day?
like no,
It's for work.
there were some.
I think I'm going to put you up here for the babe.
I
of
can
the
make
day.
you a star.
I don't think they call it babe of the day anymore, though. It's
No,
probably,
it's smoke at the smoke show of the week or whatever.
Oh, smoke. Yeah.
I don't know.
Smoke Show Saturday.
Yeah, that's just sick.
Mitchell Trubisky's girlfriend popped up on the smoke show of the week when he got
Oh.
drafted.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But there have been athletes who have like asked Seamus like, "Hey, can you take this down? Like, I don't want this."
Like which
on."
one?
I'm not gonna reveal.
Let's go. Let's go.
No.
They probably don't have any eligibility left.
They do. They definitely do.
Who cares
They-
about
they-
himself
they-
that much?
What
They
position?
definitely do.
What position?
Interesting.
Quarterback?
Running back?
Wide receiver?
Tight end.
Kicker?
Yeah. Alvano was like, "You got to get that off. You got to get that out of here." Jeremiah
Don't
Charles.
put it on the internet. that I
Jeremiah
missed that
Charles is like,
kick.
you're ruining
Hey.
my brand.
Make a field goal and we'll pull the video.
Yeah. Marco Ortiz had some really stern words with the Barstool Huskers account.
Hey, what? Why? He snapped great. He snapped great.
He was good at his
His
job.
predecessor was horrible, but
People had when Marco Ortiz was here for his year, people had no idea who he was
person after.
until last year.
Yeah.
Until we
They're like,
found out.
man,
Well,
Marco Ortiz was great.
Yeah.
He's not even in the program anymore.
I know he graduated. He left.
the most well-known long snapper in Nebraska history.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't make a bowl game for a while.
Yeah, they
You
better-
start knowing the names of your long snappers just to hold on to something.
Or when the long snapper just continuously dribbles it back to the holder. What? They sucked at it.
They did.
I don't get it.
That was a rough day in West Lafayette.
Just roll it back there.
No eyes, Mom.
All right. You guys have a great day.
Hey, have a safe trip to Cincinnati.
I will try.
Are you going to do the whole skyline chili?
I don't know. I don't know how much
Ugh.
time
Have a
I'm
little
gonna
soup?
I was about to say it's just skyline soup.
Disgusting.
I'm intrigued. I want to
It's
have some.
liquidy.
Last time I drove
Gross.
to Indianapolis, I wanted to drive over to Cincinnati just to because they actually have a skyline chili in Indianapolis, so I wanted to get some,
Yeah.
but it was on the other side of town. But I like the idea, like chili on top of
Could you
spaghetti.
fix me a plate of spaghetti? But the
I know.
spaghetti needs to be as wet as possible, and then dump some diarrhea on it.
Jeez.
It's called chili, Josh.
Skyline chili.
It's called chili, and it's a delicacy.
But Cincinnati people, just like us with the Runza, will die on that hill.
They will.
About skyline chili.
They will.
I might go check it out. Taste of the
Serious
town.
note, if you do go to the Reds game, the Reds Hall of Fame is awesome.
Is Pete Rose in there?
Yes, he is.
Okay, good.
Wow.
So it's
Please.
connected to the stadium.
All right. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll check it out. Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Have
You
a
too.
great time.
That
Remember,
is-
don't swear.
Nope, I will not. I wouldn't dare. That's the crossover powered by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. An Illinois outfielder just rammed himself into the wall. This is Big Ten baseball. Start things off next.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone.
Chance for a few spotty showers, mainly in the morning on Tuesday. Otherwise, expect cloudy, windy, and cool conditions with west-northwest winds gusting up to 35 miles per hour. Afternoon highs in the upper 50s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Get into Prairie Flower Casino and get in the game. Prairie Flower has hundreds of new slot machines along with the PFC Sportsbook, video poker and keno, electronic craps, blackjack, and roulette. Looking for a bite in the beverage? You'll love all our options, including Sky Bar and Grill, with nonstop sports on our wall-to-wall TVs and the friendly service you know and love. Play longer, win more at Prairie Flower Casino, minutes north of downtown Omaha. Must be 21. Please bet responsibly.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. What? Is that photo new on the wall? Do I look different? Do I look like I'm in a different place over here on the camera? Why do I feel different?
I don't know what photo was over your shoulder.
Chat,
It had
What
to be
happened?
that. Who would change it?
Go back and look. Somebody go back and look at our YouTubes from the rest of time and see if that is any different. It seems different. Maybe I'm tripping, Josh. Maybe I'm tripping.
You gotta be.
Maybe I'm tripping. Well, I'm tripping today. All right. What's up, everybody? This is the Connor Happer Show.
We're on no sleep.
On 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you. Welcome to a Tuesday show. Allan Bell will join coming up at 11:30. We'll probably talk some baseball, conference tournament baseball with him. We got the SEC on big TV, Big Ten on small TV. Now, before you say, wow, Connor, Big Ten hater, it's okay because BTN doesn't work on the big TV, so it's relegated to the small TV. Otherwise, it would be. I would love to watch Michigan, Illinois on the big TV.
Would love to. It would be our first choice, but
I can't. But I can't. Missouri and Alabama is on the big TV.
I'd love to have air conditioning.
At them, air, all those things. Not there. But we press forward. Allan Bell is our singular guest today. That is the lineup powered by the referees. At John Higgins Weather Guard, we'd love to hear from you all today on the show. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. You can call or text that number. Tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Josh Show at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank inbox. And we say good morning to the YouTube streamers today, where Mike Stibbs says, you tripping.
Hi, Stibbs.
I'm actually looking at it again. I do think I am tripping. Maybe it's normal.
There's no way Josh replaced it yesterday afternoon.
No,
there's no way Gary and Matt took the time.
No, nobody did anything.
Yeah,
nobody did anything. I just don't know how. I just don't know why.
You never noticed there was a photo of Rosenblatt behind you?
I don't know. It just felt different to me for some reason. I can't figure it out. Asian Joe writes in, can't confirm that the photo has been there for a long time, and Happer is indeed tripping.
Okay.
I'm tripping. Maybe the camera's in a different place than what it usually is. This is maybe more normal. I'm not sure. Stibbs says that's been there since I started there. All right. I'm tripping.
Thank you, Stibbs.
Sorry, everybody. MLB reaction, overreaction coming up today.
We're doing it.
We'll dive into the question that everybody's wondering about. Should the Pirates trade Paul Skeens?
Oh, is it time?
Many people are wondering about this. So we'll do that coming up at 12:30 today. We are pleased that you're with us. Elsewhere, Dylan Raiola. Is he being disrespected?
Clearly.
By the worldwide leader in sports.
ESPN.
Tell that to their ESPN LA show or whatever they did. It
was the last one yesterday.
Yeah, I saw this whole eulogy for this Sports Center at Night LA thing, and I'm like, wow, I don't know why they started doing this, but I really don't care that they're not doing shows from Los Angeles anymore.
Yeah, I don't care where they do their shows.
They could do their shows from anywhere. It wouldn't matter to me. It's a studio. But they had this big eulogy for that, so good job by them. Josh, today marks 100 days. Not until the season opener for college football, but the season opener for Nebraska football. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 days till the Husker play. What time do the Huskers play? 8 o'clock.
It's a late one. Take a nap beforehand.
Yep. 8 o'clock, 100 days from now.
So we're going to be at 1620 the house.
Yep. 1620 the TikTok house. Yep.
The TikTok house.
Yep.
In 100 days.
100 days.
We will hate each other in 100 days.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because all of you live like slobs.
How do you what makes you say that? What makes
Have
you
you met Gary and Matt? Also, what temperature are we going to keep the TikTok house at? Because Gary's going to want
No.
it to be 90.
Gary's overruled in that
Everyone
case.
else is going to want it to be at 65.
It's going to be a cool 67 in the TikTok house, in the 1620 The Zone TikTok house. And never fails. The second Josh gets to the phone, it stops ringing on cue every single time.
Not going to comment on it. Not going to comment on the air conditioner. Not going to comment on the TV. Not going to comment on the phone.
And I would also say that generally, most of us keep up pretty well behind ourselves. There is one example of a person who has a record of not, but I think the rest of our cleanliness makes up for that person. So I think 1620 The Zone TikTok house is going to be, clean and cool. Josh.
I love your positivity. I'm gonna take that mindset as well.
That's right. Stay positive. All right, go, Josh. Go. Get to the phone. Get to the phone. See if it. Yeah, I think he got it. I think he got it this time. So yeah, many people saying, by the way, that I am indeed tripping on the YouTube, which is very, very normal. Sam writes in, by the way, on Twitter, on the JTech Constructions on Twitter feed. I think it's the weather. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like late May, and it's throwing me off too. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like it's late March again. And I can't really figure. I put on my quarter zips in my pants again, and I didn't like it. As I've told you before, Josh, once I bust out the shorts, I don't like going back to the pants just to go back to the shorts. I've told you this before, but here I am today in long pants.
Yeah. Why is that again?
It's chilly.
Is it?
I mean, it's 54 degrees, Josh.
I'm hot all the time.
I mean, it's hot in here, but it's outside the windows. It's chilly. It's a little humid.
I thought it was muggy. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like 54 probably, but it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't feel like the way it was trending last week where, I mean, we reached 90 last week. So I don't know. Spring is back. And if you'd like to see spring in action in Omaha, Nebraska, well, it's easy. Either just turn on us on YouTube, which is the preferred method, or watch the Big Ten Network. Big Ten baseball is underway. Is that what our caller was wondering about? What's the score of the game?
Caller wanted to know why his XM radio wasn't giving him the Big Ten baseball.
Okay. And you could not answer that question.
I could not.
Okay.
Even begin to fathom why.
Finish that sentence, Josh.
You would
call us?
I'm working. I don't know what's wrong with your XM.
Josh producer _ Josh tweets, caller wants to know why the Big Ten baseball game isn't on his XM radio.
Maybe you drove by a building and therefore could not get your XM radio.
Let's find a way to make Josh more aggrieved today. Who will Josh?
I'm so cranky.
Who will Josh all of a sudden start being a hater of just out of spite?
I'm going to lash out at somebody or something today.
Yesterday it was Jordy Ball, and today it's who knows?
Yeah,
could be you. Could be you if you pull the right strings. So 100 days until Nebraska football. Joe Lunardi came out with a bracketology today. I don't know if you heard about that.
Finally.
Why are we doing this NFL style? How many Jurassic Park movies have there been?
7.
More details on Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson.
What's happening there?
USC is officially trying to get out of the Notre Dame series. Classic. And Nebraska plays in the Big Ten baseball tournament this evening at the Chuck Box. It's do or die, ladies and gentlemen. Off and running here on a Tuesday. Glad you're with us on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show.
Who's pitching tonight?
You Darvish, having a great year.
The Connor Happer Show.
I know about that guy.
On 1620 The Zone.
What a mess.
Josh, you got a follow-up text here. It says, hey, my apologies. I was simply stating that the Big Ten channel on XM, all three of those channels are not airing a game. I figured that since they were in town, the game might be on. Fair assumption. The caller
Very
just
fair.
wanted to know if they were playing.
Yes,
and Josh was able to confirm that they are playing.
Little bit of media spin on my part.
Classic Josh making the common folk look like idiots.
Now that I have amassed a great deal of power in this city, I put my thumb on the little man.
You are a mayoral vote getter.
That's right.
I think.
He just wanted to know if they were playing because his XM was not playing the game like it should be.
You owe this man an apology.
I apologize to the caller.
There you go. And texter now from the 402.
And texter. Hi, 402. I apologize. It may be a me problem. I might be a little cranky.
You might be triggered today. As Asian Joe writes in, new segment idea. In addition to the odd news, you could have odd strays where random people just catch strays from Josh Hodson. I like it. You get him on a day like this and you got a chance. You got a chance.
I used to do a segment called
I'm mad.
Pretty much 3 minutes of beef, where I would just rant like an old man on 60 Minutes about things that ticked me off.
We know you're good in making diss tracks, basically. I mean, you did that a couple times during football season.
My Will Compton style hype videos, which propelled the Huskers to a bowl game and a bowl victory.
That's right.
Thank you.
So I don't know. That might be something in there. Might be something. Then a couple differing opinions on a Cincinnati delicacy, Skyline chili. Here's Pedro.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi, guys. I was in Cincinnati, and that Skyline chili is the worst food ever. We went to the original restaurant. You can't screw up spaghetti, so the chili is really bad. Don't eat it, Connor. Then, from Tom in Cincinnati.
Oh, no. Hi, Tom in Cincinnati.
THOM in Cincinnati. What? I think we've done this before.
Is this a man of faith?
It is. He could probably considers himself a man of faith, but I don't think it's the Tom in Cincinnati.
Okay.
Connor, I can confirm.
Be careful. Read that text first.
I read it already.
You read it on radio.
I read it already. It doesn't say anything about any people in any cities. Connor, I can confirm as a Nebraska transplant to Cincinnati that Skyline for locals is 100% equivalent to Runza's for Nebraskans. I will be more than happy to meet you for lunch and treat you to the Queen City delicacy.
Treat you.
The thing is, we may not all love Runzas, but we will defend them.
Right.
Or if you don't love Runzas, you'll at the very least be like, hey, I don't really get it, but you can go to Runza for their burgers.
They got other stuff.
Yeah. Does Skyline Chili do that? Like, do they have like something else, like Hot Pockets that I need to try or something like that?
I had the chicken strips at Runza over the weekend. I normally get a salad. That's right. I eat salads.
By the way, we got a follow-up text from the person.
Oh, no. Can you read that on the air?
I don't think that. All right. I'm fine. I will.
Oh,
it's a joke. All right.
Okay.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. From the 402. No need to apologize, Josh. I'm just driving. Thought I would try the hands-free in my new car before I kill myself because you're so mean.
It better be a joke.
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
I want to kill myself, jump in the cold and die of frostbite.
Well, at least I made a new friend today.
You're out there making a whole bunch of friends, Josh. That's good. Just tell
one
them,
listener at a time.
Just tell them if the game is on or not. If the game is on or not.
It should be. What that tells you is that XM isn't doing their job.
There you go.
Like us here on terrestrial radio.
And it's very fair to make fun of entities when and if they have technical difficulties.
We do all the time.
We take crap all the time. And so when we're watching a baseball game that's 0-0 in the 8th inning, and your favorite app, the FanDuel Sportsbook television app, goes off the air while Vinny Pasquantino is hitting a 2-run home run in the 8th inning against the San Francisco Giants.
That's right.
It's going to deserve some tweets. And I'm going to flash that thing up on Twitter that says technical difficulties. because you deserve it. I'm sure the people behind it are great people, and I'm sure the people that made this happen they're not responsible for this happening. I'm sure it's just a question of happenstance, really. But guess what? You get made fun of when you screw up, even if it's really not your problem.
Tune into 1620 The Zone today at about 1:50. There will be a technical problem of some kind. I don't know what.
Yeah, it'll involve the stream or something like that. Yeah. I did not like that. By the way, I did like when my favorite baseball team played an 8:30 game.
It's nice.
It's kind of cool.
I can get everything done
Yeah.
and then sit down. I don't have to okay, I'm cleaning up dinner, trying to watch the game.
Yeah, it ended at like 11. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, it's over now, and I could just kind of be done. Watching baseball in the background while I'm getting ready for the next day or getting ready for tomorrow. It's great. Sometimes the NBA games need my attention too much. Baseball games rarely do.
Right.
Just listen to Brian and Hud talking about God knows what. Chris Bubich's changeup for 8 innings. Man,
he was dealing.
He was good. He was good last night. Robbie Ray's tight pants.
Oh,
that guy's got way too tight of pants. Way too tight.
The Spencer Strider collection.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, go watch a game from last night if you can view it.
Oh God,
because
he's
of
pitching
technical
tonight.
difficulties. That's right, he's back, folks.
Oh, #bless. Why am I so cranky? Strider's back tonight.
And Mr. Acuna's back soon too.
That's right. By the end of the week.
And your other favorite player, Marcell Ozuna, is going to come up today in Baseball Reaction Overreaction.
I just cannot form an opinion on that man.
We'll be back. 11 o'clock hour is coming up next. We have many things to get to today. Sorry, we'll finally start doing sports talk. After this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back, everybody. More of the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 6zone.com. A couple things here in this segment for you. Of course, college baseball taking over with their conference tournaments this week. The Big Ten, by the way, has just announced its postseason honors. 1 hour
in the middle of the game.
1 hour into the first game of their conference tournament.
God, they don't care.
They don't get it at all. I mean, just not that this is like a huge deal, but do it yesterday when, I don't know, you get people excited for the conference tournament, or like the broadcasters can prep and say, hey, look, here we go. We got Kate Obermueller, first team All Big Ten starting pitcher from Iowa, and they'll still be able to do that because Iowa doesn't play their first game until tomorrow morning. I think whatever. I don't get whatever the schedule is. By the way, from the Nebraska standpoint, Luke Broderick, Nebraska's closer, is second team all conference. And they did not appear to have a first teamer. And Devin Nunez was on the all Big Ten freshman team. So in a conference with 17 teams, it's probably hard to parse through all of them, but Nebraska just gets 2. Rock Cholowinski, UCLA's shortstop, is the conference player of the year. And Nebraska tonight will face the Big Ten pitcher of the year, Joseph Jurwa from Michigan State.
Good luck with that.
6'8" left-handed pitcher. Indeed. Good luck with that. In the Big East Conference, they announced their all-conference teams this morning, one day before their conference tournament begins. May I add? I have just a couple things on this. By the way, you can hear Creighton in the conference tournament tomorrow on 1180 The Zone, and Thursday on 1180 The Zone, and Friday maybe or maybe not. If Creighton starts 2-0, they won't play Friday. If they do play Friday, we'll tell you where. Is that right, Josh?
That is correct.
Okay.
When the time comes, we'll have the info for you.
But I'll be there for the duration of the Big East baseball tournament. Creighton has 3 first-team all-conference players. Dominic Cancelleri won Pitcher of the Year. Kind of amazing for Dom, who really wasn't full strength until probably a few weeks ago. Had a conversation with him recently about that, which you could hear on a 1620 The Jays podcast from last week.
Jays pod.
So he won Pitcher of the Year while, not pitching at the beginning of the season and really being on a pretty strict pitch limit for most of the first half and into the second half of the season. But did enough to be dominant enough on those Friday games. Wilson Moggers, Creighton Sunday starter, freshman of the year in the conference. And Garrett Langrel is a first team all Big East reliever. Only reliever that made the first team all Big East team. And Creighton and Ed Service, the coaching staff of the year. They don't say the coach of the year, they say the coaching staff of the year. So Ed Service, Mark Kingston, Mike Current, Billy Mole.
Honk, honk.
All on the coaching staff of the year for the Big East champion, Creighton Blue Jays. Second team, Connor Capisi, Nolan Sailors, and Matt Sherman. Which I don't know. Like Nolan Sailors, there's a bunch of outfielders who probably are deserving to be in that conversation. Creighton will get, if it came down to one spot between Nolan Sailors and John LeGrande, the St. John's left fielder, Creighton and St. John's will meet each other tomorrow afternoon, so maybe they could duke that one out on the field. And then Connor Capisi, who really has started to anchor this lineup from a hitting perspective and is a heck of a defensive catcher. He got second team behind Owen Carapalati from Georgetown, who was the worst team in the league all year long and won 3 games in the conference. Matt Sherman got. So anyway, I'm just giving you the facts, Josh. I have a little bit of a gripe. It's kind of weird but we'll settle it all on the field.
Okay.
We'll settle it all on the field. So there you go. That's the all Big East team. Mike writes in, what a Jays honk.
That's you. How's it feel? Address the allegations.
I mean, I can't deny them, Josh.
I'm sorry. Whenever you talk, I don't hear words. All I hear is
honk, honk. I can't really deny them. I have to be honest with you. I very much enjoyed doing baseball games on the radio for the last couple of years, and I have spent a lot of my time around those players, and I will honk for them proudly. Honk, honk, honk. Indeed.
It's no fun if us calling you a honk doesn't trigger you.
It does not trigger me. It does not offend me in the least, actually.
Well, it makes this whole bit a lot less fun.
Elsewhere, Notre Dame and USC. We talked about this last week. Notre Dame and USC, a historic rivalry.
One of the most historic in the sport.
Really, it is. Pat Forty wrote yesterday, with the potential end to the storied USC-Notre Dame Fighting Irish football series looming, Irish Athletic Director Pete Bavacqua has made it clear that his school is seeking a long-term extension of the rivalry. That's right. We are in the phase of he said, she said, basically, on this, and Notre Dame is trying to make it clear, hey, if this thing gets canceled, it's not because of us. Don't come to us when the game gets canceled. We tried. When asked by Sports Illustrated on Monday whether USC and Notre Dame plan to play annually, Bavacqua said, I think Southern Cal and Notre Dame should play every year for as long as college football is played. And SC knows that's how we feel. The two football blue bloods have met 95 times since 1924, playing every year but 3 during World War II and during COVID. The October 18th game in South Bend this year is the last one in the current contract. USC, who apparently wants to get out of the series, has offered Notre Dame I guess some sort of a holdover, a 1-year extension. A 1-year extension. And of course, that game next year in 2026 would be held in Los Angeles at the Coliseum. Okay, we want this series over, and I know you want it to continue, so how's this? Let's play each other one more time next year.
I'd like to...
Notre Dame says, I don't think that's a very good... No, that's actually not the deal I want.
Like to mediate this meeting between Notre Dame and USC. Notre Dame, your offer. We'd like to play USC every year forever.
Yes.
USC, your offer. 1 year.
Yeah.
Seems like we're far apart.
Yeah. Yep. And I don't think they're going to get there. We want the USC Notre Dame rivalry to continue, which is why we offered an extension of our agreement. USC Associate Athletic Director Cody Worsham tells Sports Illustrated. It's a special game to our fans and our institution. We will continue to work with Notre Dame on scheduling future games. How does that sound to you, Josh? We want the rivalry to continue. That's why we offered an extension.
Yeah.
You buy that? You buying that at all?
No, I'm really not.
I don't think that I'm buying it either. We continue on.
There's more?
USC has expressed reluctance to enter a long-term deal due to uncertainty about the playoff format. And while assessing the demands of greater travel as a member of the Big Ten, USC broached the idea of moving the game to a season opening spot on the schedule. So it feels like really here, USC just wants out of the deal. Notre Dame wants to stay in it. And this is a classic case of USC running or really using the fact that they play a very difficult, very hard Big Ten schedule to not play Notre Dame. It's just another example. It's just another example of schools in the Big Ten and the SEC specifically using the strength of their conference to get out of things that they want to strengthen their resume to make the college football playoff, and they want weasel wins. And many of you, when Nebraska took away their series with Tennessee, came to me and they said, Connor, I don't care who you win against. I care that you win. And I say, you're wrong. you do care who they win against. You don't want a crap schedule because I don't know how you guys watch sports. It's so odd to me. Yes, you want your team to win, but my goodness, don't you admit it? When we get to September, this is the point that I use. I'd put yourself in the shoes of not May you. We're talking about September you.
Football you.
Football you. You're locked in. And Nebraska's won their first game against some podunk school somewhere. I'm just talking about in a random year, right? Some crap school somewhere, and you're like, I want enter team here. We want it. It's such a big game. It's time. We get bored when it doesn't line up that way. And then especially when the games are historically important, they play for a trophy. It's a rivalry. They've met each other every single year since the series started in 1924, except for the war and COVID. That's it.
Think about that.
Nothing has stopped these two teams, USC and Notre Dame, from getting together for 100 years except for the war and COVID. Nothing. And now it's cowardice that will stop these two teams from getting together. So congratulations, conferences. You did it. You did it. You took away all the enjoyment from, and I think the worst part is they are almost training fans to agree with them, right? That's arguably the worst part of this entire thing, because people look at this and they'll listen to athletic directors talk about it and coaches talk about it, and the coaches will say, yeah, "Look, man, I don't care. Listen to Rule. He goes, I don't care what people say. The Big Ten is harder. Okay, I want to watch my team play competitive football games against competitive football teams and in games that matter. And I do think looking at it from a win-loss perspective and what you're going to be able to do in that category is way too overly simplistic. Think about the way we scheduled these games years and years out in advance. Nebraska has a 2035 game on the schedule at the moment. That probably won't last, for the record, but they do. We think about it we can't be thinking about it in these short-term periods. Will we be able to win or will we lose this game because this is what we have on the roster and how good this team is at any given moment? These games are scheduled because they're important to the fans and because they're important to engaging your fan base, as I talked about before when we did this Nebraska-Tennessee thing. They engage your fan base. I don't want to live in the world where Notre Dame and USC live in separate universes. I look forward to that game every year. It's had great moments every single year. Through ups and downs, they're rivals, right? And you throw the records out the window and that entire thing, and somebody's got a chance to spoil somebody's bad season or somebody's good season, and maybe the other side is bad. You go through ups and downs. And so I hate it. I hate what this has become, but you guys have heard me talk about this before. So maybe you don't need to hear me talk about it again.
We all remember Nebraska trying to get out of the Oklahoma game, right? We all remember that.
Yes, I didn't like that.
That's, while an important rivalry to us here, it isn't. I mean, they went a large gap of the 2000s without playing that game, and we were all very, very angry that Nebraska tried to get out of that.
I heard people when I remember that day vividly. It happened in the morning. It was before I was doing a midday show at the time. It happened in the morning before the show started, and we because there was a gap in between our morning show and our midday show where we ran the Dan Patrick show or something.
You got to go 6A to 6P.
Yeah, we weren't going 6A to 6P at the time, I don't think. And so we had the Dan Patrick show on. I'm sitting there in the studio getting ready for the show, and I'm like, what's this? Nebraska's trying to get out of the Oklahoma series. I'm pissed. I need to go on the air right now. Turn the microphones on. And when we heard from people, because I think we did go on the air early, myself and Tom Stevens. I think we did go on the air early, and what I heard from some people immediately was like, "Hey, I get it, Frost. You're trying to not get fired, and you're trying to, you're a little bit."
Mm-hmm.
I think I heard that a little bit. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I couldn't believe that there was people who were like, yeah, I'd like to not play this game.
We've definitely trained the fan bases over the years.
That's the worst part.
So like, hey, it's not a big deal. It doesn't matter who you play. It's fine, everybody.
That is absolutely the worst part of this entire thing. The worst part is people have bought the crap over the years. They've bought it. They've slurped it up. They're like, oh, man, they're right. I'm trying to build a schedule to get to the college football playoff because that's the end all be all. Like, no, I think engaging your fan base and playing in games that are relevant nationally, and I mean, hell, if you wanted to look at it from an athletic director standpoint, what is going to get you? I mean, everything is done via brand and eyes and all this stuff anyway. Like, what's going to get you more eyes? A USC Notre Dame game or a USC, Portland State game?
Ooh.
Like it's USC Notre Dame.
Definitely.
It's good for your brand. So I don't get it. By the way, we did get a comment from I think it was Amazing Daniel. They are going to stop playing the series because of Notre Dame. If they join the Big Ten, the game will be back. That is true. That is true.
Whoa, what if this was a chess, not checkers move? And hey, we're not going to play you. But if you join the Big Ten, we'll play you.
I do think Notre Dame should join the Big Ten.
Ooh.
But I've always thought that. By the way, Kenneth is a Notre Dame honk. What's he saying on here?
That Notre Dame is zagging in their non-con schedule compared to most Power 4 schools.
Well, I mean, Notre Dame has a little bit of flexibility, right? Like that's what other schools will look at that and they'll say, now they still have their ACC deal, but that's only what, 5 games a year? I think it's 5 games a year.
5 games and sometimes Clemson. Clemson is the Y of.
That's right. And sometimes Y.
It's sometimes Clemson.
So Notre Dame has a little bit more flexibility. And they're in the ACC. That's what the coward athletic directors would say. They're like, well, with all due respect to that conference, they are playing a half ACC schedule. So it makes sense why they would want to play us. It's like, no, here's why they want to play you. Because you've been playing each other for 100 years. Let's not overthink this.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's not overthink this, USC.
We're always sad, like, oh, Texas and Texas A&M didn't play each other for so many years. Those teams should play each other. It's one of those teams should play each other situations.
It just should be the case.
Yes.
It just should be happening. Let's go to the text line for a couple here. Jeff writes in.
Hi, Jeff.
It's like the conference is deliberately trying to tell everyone we don't. Oh, this was about baseball from earlier. Sorry. But yes, I thought he was going to talk about the conference deliberately telling everybody that non-conference games don't matter. Yes, that's happening too.
They don't.
Speaking of that, John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hello, John.
The only record that's going to matter with the new CFP format is going to be conference record. Non-conference losses mean nothing. The argument that Rule and Lincoln Riley are trying to make makes no sense. Cowards. So here's where I'll hold for 1 second. Like, is it possible? Are you giving coaches and athletic directors any benefit of the doubt as to, like, if the thought process is, we're going to wait to see what the new playoff format looks like? If it's not what we have been talking about, which it's hard to imagine how it's not, right? What we've been talking about is the 4-4-2-2-1-1-1, automatic big bid thing where all you got to do is get top 4 of the Big Ten and you're in. There's only 2 more spaces for at-large teams to get in the field. And therefore, it doesn't really matter as much what you do out of conference, just that you have, the record that it would require to get into the college football playoff. Like, do you give any benefit of the doubt whatsoever to coaches and ADs who are saying, well, okay, sure, but we don't know that yet. We're going to wait until this format comes out, because right now it's very clear what the evidence has shown me over time. And they're right about that, because the evidence has shown over time, if you don't play anybody and you rack up wins, that can be advantageous to you. But the point that everybody else is making is, as it pertains to the playoffs, the non-conference literally won't matter. So why not do something for your brand? Why not do something that matters to your fan base and engage them a little bit and test your team as well? It's also good from a team standpoint. I'm not trying to throw that thing out the window. It's not just for the fans that they play good non-conference games. I suppose if they wanted it out, it's like, we're going to wait till that college football playoff thing comes down. But then after that, you would have to see all of these non-con series that have already been canceled over the years come back, which is not happening. So I don't trust that. I don't think that they're doing that. I think that they want to get out of the games because their coaches tell them that they don't want to play the games anymore. And the athletic directors take the crap that gets thrown at them, through all this stuff.
Until the sport does something, we, the schools, will do nothing.
And nobody's going to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alex and Lincoln.
Hello, Alex.
We did mention that Oklahoma series, which did bring up Scott Frost for the record. Mm-hmm. In retrospect, it was totally believable that Scott Frost won it out. Why are we talking about it? I think sarcastically.
The baseball team has a chance to do something. Why are we talking about Scott Frost?
4 seconds without talking about Scott Frost. How about Jordy Ball? She
had a good weekend.
She really did. And she's going to have another good weekend, I think.
Oh, prediction.
Yes, that's right. Put it on the board, Josh. Jordy Ball will have a good weekend.
Good weekend. Okay. Yeah. It is your Friday show.
Put that up there. Oh, yeah. I guess this is, wow. Do I need to make some sweeping predictions? Well, no, I think I'll be on the show on Thursday. I think I'm doing the show on Thursday. Just not from here.
Okay. I would very much like you to do the show.
Yeah. Otherwise, what's the plan? There is no plan.
Probably me.
I'm doing the show on Thursday. I told you this, Josh. I'm doing the show on Thursday.
Let's do it together.
That's how we usually do it. That's how we usually do it. I think that's right. All right. 3-1 Illinois in the Big Ten baseball tournament. Haven't seen the wide shot of the stadium yet, but there does appear to be a couple people who have made their way down behind home plate and right behind the dugouts. Be curious to see what kind of crowd they get tonight for the Nebraska game on a chilling kind of, I think it's going to be windy too, like just kind of a nasty night.
How is it chilly and muggy at the same time?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get the science behind that.
I'm not sure. Maybe chilly is the wrong word for it, but it's a little cooler, I suppose. Yeah. And there's some rain in the air. Like, I'm curious to see what kind of crowd they get. Now, if Nebraska wins, I don't know what the hell it's going to look like the next 2 days after today when Nebraska's not playing. But
desolate.
If Nebraska beats this Jerwa guy today, and then they have a huge game against Oregon on Friday night,
be great.
That is going to be, I don't know about a hot ticket, but there's going to be a lot of people there.
I will say that the Iowa fan base usually finds their way to the Chuck.
They do. But do they love their team right now?
I don't know.
Well, they almost won the Big Ten this year if they wouldn't have croaked at the end.
They're probably talking themselves into it, right? But they know.
They're not going anywhere unless they win the Big Ten baseball tournament. All right, let's take a break. Allan Bell is going to join us on the other side. We'll talk some college baseball with Allan, as we usually do.
Ping.
Maybe we'll throw some schedules at him as well. NBA conference finals begin tonight with the Timberwolves and the Thunder.
People forget.
People do forget. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Allan Bell, the AB3, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here we go. It is conference tournament baseball time around the country. We had a couple on the screens right now. It's the perfect time to be joined by our dear friend, Allan Bell, driving the line. AB, good morning to you, my friend. How are you?
Doing fantastic, my man. How you doing, man? Y'all all right?
Good. Well, yeah, we're good. It sounds like you're in the car, so you probably don't have like the multi-TV setup right now watching all these conference tournaments.
No, I had to finish up. We just had a big storm hit, and I lost internet in my house and had to go outside. I'm parked in the driveway. So, yeah, there you go right there.
There's always something going on down there, man.
I'm telling you. You know what? Like, whether you're covering Tennessee athletics or Tennessee weather, all right? You've always got a story. So there you go.
These conference baseball tournaments, they have to be very, 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 very difficult to sort of get an edge on, considering A, they're baseball games, so it's always going to be difficult. And B, you don't know what the pitching situations are like. But I assume if you can really lock in to what's going on, there might be an edge there. Like, how do you view these things?
Yeah. Look, okay. So first off, you're correct. It is difficult, and you have to understand, every team has a different mentality, right? Like, here in the Southeast, teams like LSU and Arkansas, they're battling for legitimately, the number one overall seed, right? Like, so to say, Texas as well. But they don't, LSU and Arkansas don't play until Friday, right? So it's like, they've got plenty of time. And if you win one game, like, you're set pretty golden. But you take a look at a team like Alabama, who's playing right now, and, dude, they're fighting. Like, they have fallen off a cliff over the last month and a half. A team like Florida, who was atrocious the first half of the season and seems to be doing, what they did last year, right? So, yeah, man, like, you have to it gets better when you get a couple days in, because then you can see bullpens, you can see starting pitching. The first day is really difficult.
Question for you basketball wise. Sorry, I was just finishing off a bag of Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, nice. I like Sour Patch Kids.
Me too. My dear producer Josh brought me a box of Sour Patch Kids this morning, and I thought
what
that was
can't Josh do?
Seriously. I mean, he handed me the box, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what I needed. So thank you, Josh. Would that be your choice, Allan? If you're like, man, I need a candy to keep me going during a show.
Oh, it's up there. I'm big on sour, right? Like, I like those. They make a sweet tarts ropes that are really good, dude. But Sour Patch Kids are tough to beat, man. Tough to beat.
You and Josh ought to do so Josh is really on this thing. Well, this is just him as a person. He just loves trying all of the new absurd items, the snack items that they have at stores.
AB, if you slap new on that label, I will buy it. Or
there
limited.
Yes, I like it. Like, even like, like the Gatorades, like they're trying like these like, mashups where they've got different colors. Like, I'm with Josh. Like, if you put new on it, yeah, I'm your target audience because I'm buying it.
What's your guys' hit rate on these though? I mean, it can't be very high. Like
50-50.
It cannot be that high.
Yeah, no, I think so. It is. Look, we're talking low thresholds here. I feel comfortable speaking for Josh. Like, as long as it's not just, black licorice just out of control, it's going to be pretty good.
I mean, the types of chips that I've seen Josh Hudson bring into this building are mildly absurd.
Get different. Yeah, chips get different because now you start working in weird kind of flavors. But candy, there's only so many ways that you can go.
Yeah. Somebody, Joel, by the way, on Twitter suggests the Nerds. We had a conversation about the Nerds clusters this morning. They are quite good. I can't lie. They're fantastic.
I like them. And you get like, you can kind of chew on them too. So you get to enjoy it more than 1 second.
Exactly. Okay. So basketball wise, how do you like your conference finals or your NBA finals? Do you need there to be a star? Do you need there to be a dominant team? Like, it's kind of like a what are you rooting for question. We don't have a lot of boxes that we're checking with these four teams left in the conference finals. There's not a huge star. There is one big market And there's a couple kind of ancillary off the radar stars, at least from the main ones. I guess when you look at this, what are you left with, as far as wanting more out of these conference finals?
It's a great question. Now, look, for me, I'm big on the heels, right? Like, you look at it from wrestling, like, I liked when the NBA had the Miami Heat and LeBron and all them. I'm not saying that I was rooting for them. I'm saying I like when there's somebody or a team that you can hate. The Warriors fell into that category, right? When they were just so good. We don't really have that. You're right. Like, we've got two pretty good matchups. You've got some trades that happen. I'll say this. I kind of hope that we get a little bit of that Pacers, Knicks, like Reggie Miller back in the 90s.
Give me the blood feud for sure.
Absolutely. And I'll say this. I don't need a star going in, but I need a star to develop. And I don't care who it is. It could be a bench player. It could be a starter. I don't care. But somebody who steps up and just starts having big games. Could be a Jalen Brunson. Could be a Chet Holmgren. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care who the level of it is. But if somebody comes out and they're just knocking down 30, right? Like, I enjoy that. So don't need a star coming in, but I like one to develop.
Okay, you bring up a really good point about the hate, because I guess I didn't really realize. I'm looking at these conference finals, and obviously it's a bit, unconventional as far as the teams that are in it. But then I was trying to sort through, like, why don't I don't really have a gut on who I want to win or who I think. I guess Oklahoma City is the best team that we have left in the four, but who I want to win is a different question. And what I usually recognize immediately out of the Final Four is, which team do I desperately not want to win? And we do not have that, in my opinion, this year. I don't look at any of those four teams and be like, yeah, I can't have them win the NBA Finals.
No, we don't, right? Like, I don't hate any of them. And here's the other thing, too, on the other side of that. Normally, and look, I'm not anti-New York, but, like, I'm not a fan of, like, New York teams. You know what I'm saying? So usually I'm against them. But I love what this Knicks team is about. Dude, they don't bench starters. They don't quit on games. Like, they go hard in the paint every time, every game. They don't care. Like, I love that. So it's like, I'm with you. Like, I was looking at it saying, am I a Knicks guy? Like, like, for the rest of the run? Because they are the opposite of every other New York team that has been. This team is gritty. They want to go. Like, I think I'm pulling for the Knicks, as weird as that sounds.
I'm absolutely down. I'm very down for the. I hope nobody gets hurt in the streets outside of Madison Square Garden with people climbing all over billboards and stoplights and stuff like that. But I think I'm with you. I'm very much, at least I'm very okay with the Knicks winning it. And the closest thing that we would have to some Schadenfreude is Oklahoma City, who is, like I just said, I think they're the best team that we have left and the prohibitive favorite to win the thing. So I really like the Schadenfreude of, boy, it would be funny if they lost, because they're really not supposed to.
Yeah, you know what? And that's what we've got. You know what I mean? And Minnesota, they're a different style of team, too. They like to get physical. Like, a Minnesota Knicks final would be solid. Like, I would be good with that. You can hand it to me. But any of the matchups, I think I'll be fine. So at least we can be positive about that. But I'm with you. I think I'm a Knicks guy this time around. Like, I like the grit, dude.
Bing
I
bong.
really respect it.
Yeah, we're bing bonging all over the place. In baseball today or anywhere else across the board, anything you're looking at in particular?
Yeah, so we've got really nice weather in this Tigers-Cardinals game. Now, great pitching matchup, but you've got a total of 7.5. And again, Screwball's on the mound. I totally get it. But I love the over. And I love it on both sides. I think the Tigers are going to light up the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals light up the Tigers. Like, I think you're going to see some runs. I don't know what to do with the Mets. Like, they are all over the board. Like, Alonso, suddenly he's fouling balls out. He can't hit. Juan Soto is just standing there posing. Like, I don't know what to do with them. But that Cardinals-Tigers game, out of all the games, we picked that one. But I think it's going to be a solid game, man. I think you're going to see some runs for sure.
Cardinals are hot right now, much to my team's dismay. All right, AB, we'll let you go. Enjoy all the college baseball this weekend. When we talk next week, we'll have a We'll have a bracket. We'll have a regional field all set up. We're getting ready to go for the road to Omaha.
Can't wait. We're gonna have to pick out our favorite candy for the run. All right, so we'll work on that all week.
CAB.
Bud.
That's Allan Bell. Driving the Line. You can check it out on YouTube at Driving the Line or Twitter at Allan G Bell. And what's the G stand for? I don't know. We never asked him. Probably
G Money.
I'm gonna say gangsta.
Yeah, it's got to be something like that.
My guy's all about the nerd clusters and the Sour Patch Kids.
He tweeted that the Gatorade mashup was good, so I tried it.
It's good.
It was very tasty.
I don't trust you guys on this whole
Cool
thing.
Blue and Fruit Punch. Why do those two go together? They do.
There is no way that you're at a 50% hit rate on all this new crap that you're eating. There is no chance that
He
it's at
made a
50%.
great point about the chips being a different category. That's a much lower hit
Okay,
rate
so
because you have to factor in. Could I eat an entire bag of these, or just the 6 in this bag that they've given me?
The tiny baby bag.
Yeah.
So the candy has a higher hit rate than the chips. We're talking about new candy,
Right.
like new, never seen before. This combination of candy. There's all these collabs out there now, as well. So you're saying the candy has a higher hit rate?
Correct. Yeah.
I guess I would find that easier to believe. I just see some of these chips that you're eating, and I'm like, what possessed you to what possessed them to make this? And then what possessed you to buy this? Obviously,
Those are fair questions.
Yeah. I don't even see. Where do you even find crap like this? I go to
the gas station.
I go to the store all the time, and I'm like, but there's nothing. I guess I only get one. By the way,
You're not looking for it.
no, I no, you're right.
You don't want to see it.
No, I don't. You're right. You're right about that. I shield myself. I protect myself from the things that I don't need to see in this world. But yesterday I just did my Monday run to Costco.
That's right.
And so the last 3 times that I've gone, I've got the same bag of I think it's Miss Vicky's. They have them at the sandwich shops. Spicy dill pickle chips.
Oh, hello.
Okay, they're unbelievable. And we've ripped off 3 monster Costco sized bags in a row now.
Hello.
And so yesterday, for another time, I'm checking out with another bag of spicy dill pickle Miss Vicky's chips. And the guy's like, have you had these chips before? And he asked me that. He's asking me this for like the second time. It's the same guy. And I'm like, yeah, they're amazing. But, and I told him, I heard, because I heard it from him, they were going away. They're seasonal.
Oh, no.
They're seasonal. And I go, well, they're seasonal. So when do you think they're going away? And he goes, well, they already have the asterisk on them. And I was like, I don't know what that means, but I guess I can assume that it means this might be it.
Oh, wow.
So I was like,
you got to go stock up.
I go to him like, I don't want to hold up this line and go back. But just know that I thought about it. I'm gonna take my spicy dill pickle chips home next week when I come in here on Monday. If they're still here, I'm getting multiple bags, just so you know. That's what I told him, and then I left. And then they counted my items on the way out the door, like I was trying to steal something.
Such a weird place.
It is. It's a very odd place. You have to walk by all the TVs and the gadgets and the golf clubs and the pants to get to the food.
No,
it's a trap, and it works.
It's a trap. That's a Star Wars thing.
I know. I've seen it.
Okay.
Admiral Akbar.
Look at you.
I know about that guy.
Now, Platcat on the YouTube stream here says,
what?
Connor doesn't know the rules of Costco pricing. If it's asterisk, it means no more coming in stock.
Oh, so that was it.
That whatever they got in the building is what they got.
Oh, they're gone by today then. It's over.
I don't know. That would scare a lot of people off.
It's over.
Now I want to try these.
They're really, really, really good.
If I text my mom, hey,
if your mom goes to,
if
your mom go, if they still have the barrel of them, you know, it's a big like end cap deal.
Okay.
They're so good. But they are spicy.
Might have to do this.
They'll get you. Watch out. Teresa said, delicious. Great food take. Thank you. Many people are talking about my great food takes. Also a text from Michael Severe. Those are the best.
Wow.
When Michael agrees with the food take, then you know. Can't wait to see what Michael busts out in terms of food takes tomorrow when he hosts this show for 4 consecutive hours.
This is an unprecedented food take on 1620 The Zone.
A good one by Connor Happer?
Yes.
I tend to disagree with you, Josh, but I understand where you're coming from.
More pricing info from Platcat. If price ends in a 98 cents on the way out, 97, it's on its last leg, asterisk, done
Well,
for.
Black Cat, you know this. I never look at the price, so I wouldn't know.
That's true.
I would have
money
no
is
idea.
no object at the grocery store.
I just know that I want the dill pickle chips, so I buy them. What's so hard to understand about this? I'm not gonna not buy it because it's $1 more expensive. It's
give you hell
$1
for it. I do the same thing.
Damn right, Josh. Thank you. I will happily take your slings and arrows.
He can take him. He's built for this.
We're back after this with the odd news on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys?
Success in today's electrical market requires your company to be able to adjust to an ever-changing field. A partnership with IBEW Local 22 gives you that flexibility with access to journeymen, apprentices, proven training programs, marketing assistance, entry into markets not available before, ability.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The Odd News with Oddson.
Yes, it's the Odd News with Oddson, but I'd like to use this opportunity to talk about something that I have found interesting in society.
Please.
So, maybe the people in the comments know what I'm talking about here. I've seen a lot of people. So it's probably like young millennials, or I guess Gen Zs who are in the workforce now. Probably not millennials anymore, right? What's the youngest millennial? 30?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So we're talking about Gen Zs, older Gen Zs who have now joined the workforce. And they've also grown up in this like PC gaming, like streaming world and whatever. And they also really like ASMR and sounds and things like that. I don't know.
Weirdos.
I don't know. They're just, I don't get it, but whatever. So I've seen a lot of these videos of these people who are joining these Gen Z people who are joining the workforce, and they have decided that they're buying their own keyboards to bring to work, use at work, either plug and unplug it and bring it back home, or just leave it at work. And they're special keyboards because they make more noise. They have like bigger buttons.
They're clackier.
And yeah, and like and they really like the noise when you tap on them. And it was at that point I'm like, I have to stop, because if I go too far down this route, I might find out some things about the human condition that I don't want to know about. But like, I'm interested in it.
Loudest keyboard ever challenge.
The kids are using really loud and colorful keyboards.
Okay.
Like, keyboards aren't normal anymore. They're different. And I don't know what's going on. So just so you know, that's a thing that's out there.
Interesting.
So when you see it for the first time, you won't be that surprised.
I'm glad you brought that to us.
You're welcome.
I enjoy knowing what the children are up to,
That's
even if it aggravates me.
That's what's going on TikTok these days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do we got today?
Well, a few weeks ago, John Oliver of Last Week Tonight on HBO or HBO Max or Max, whatever you'd like to call it, or Discovery Plus, I guess. He put out a call to the minor league baseball teams.
That's right.
We will rebrand you. There are some conditions. You get no say. You have to do what we want, but we will rebrand you if you submit your application.
Yep.
And
if you're chosen, yeah.
Right. On Sunday, they chose the team. One lucky minor league team is about to receive a promotion of a lifetime. The 47 minor league teams applied for Oliver's proposal, and after careful examination, the Last Week Tonight team has settled on the Detroit Tigers AA affiliate, the Erie Seawolves.
Yeah, I heard that the Iowa Cubs were one of the
47.
One of the 47.
Now the Seawolves have to be granted approval by Major League Baseball for a rebrand. The team and league are set to meet today. Why wouldn't this go through?
Yeah.
Assuming the project is approved, the Seawolves are ceding full creative control for the team's rebrand to the Last Week Tonight team. It will be personalized and be bespoke, Oliver said. I think it's a tremendous opportunity. The Seawolves president said it's an opportunity to showcase Erie and showcase the team we have here and success we've enjoyed, so we're thrilled.
My question to that president is, how do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know it'll, like, you have no idea. You have stepped away.
They might make you the Erie Booger Eaters or something.
Yeah.
Like,
you have no idea what, and obviously whatever they do it, there will be an initial surge of, oh my God, I'll buy a hat and I'll buy a shirt, and it's their Erie, John Olivers or whatever they end up being.
I wouldn't throw out the old stuff. Keep it. Yeah. Keep it in a closet somewhere. You might want to go back to it quicker than you think.
Yeah. I completely agree, Josh.
Now, I'm going to assume that there's
I wish I still had some Omaha Golden Spikes gear.
Yeah. At the time, I was like, ugh, I'm sick of this. But now I'm like,
Well, you didn't have that long to get sick about it.
But I did.
2 years. Yeah. Yep.
I assume there's some good faith negotiation. Like, hey, we're not going to make you the butt lickers.
That's what they said.
That.
That's what they said. But once again, you don't have any control over the issue anymore.
You don't.
You have stepped away.
That was specifically in the
like full creative control.
Yeah.
Yep.
We go to France for story number 2, as a small town in France has succeeded in its 3rd attempt at a Guinness World Record by hosting a gathering of 3,076 people dressed as Smurfs.
Fun.
I don't know about that. The town of Landerneau, I believe is how you would pronounce that, in France's Brittany region, had attempted the world record for the most people dressed as Smurfs twice before, but fell short of the record, which was 2,762 people, which was set in Germany in 2019. Excuse me.
It's close.
The town made its 3rd attempt Sunday with the official backing of Paramount Pictures ahead of the release of the film Smurfs on July 18th. Creative title. The Smurfs were created by a Belgian cartoonist in 1958. They are called Schtroumpfs in France.
It'd be kind of crazy if you walked into that town in France and everybody was a Smurf.
Yeah, you're just walking through like you didn't know what was going on. You're not from around there. You're just touring.
Maybe you took a train there because the Europeans are all freaked out about their trains
they love
these
their
days.
Trains.
They're talking about trains all the time. What an amazing headline, though. Still can't get over that. Europe built trains. America built highways and regret.
Yeah, they got no regrets there in Europe.
Nice, Josh. Nice.
We don't own regret, okay? Everybody's got theirs.
All right,
and finally, I'd like to tip you all off to a very special event happening Friday. At the Indianapolis Motor Speedway,
the Daytona 500, according to what's his name, the guy who hosts it. So they're doing the Indy 500, and the guy Chris, gosh, I forget his name. He does some NFL games.
Oh no!
And he was like, "This is the Daytona 500." And wait, I'm at the Indy 500. Sorry, you couldn't tell because of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway around me.
The bricks,
which I'm at.
No, this is the Wiener 500. It's the first.
Yeah, Nick Grimm's going to want to talk about this
meetup of all 6 Wiener Mobiles in over a decade, and the first competitive race for the fleet of Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobiles. Hot dog fans across the country can get in on the action in free-to-play pools on DraftKings. That's right. You can bet on the Wiener Mobile race.
Sure.
Feels like
not
a step
rigged.
too far. First of its kind spectacle where all 6 Wiener Mobiles will haul buns at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is going to be on television as well.
Sure.
I wanted to find that.
Wiener.tv. Don't go there.
No, don't go there. Fans can catch highlights from the race during Sunday's Indy 500 pre-race show on Fox.
You ever been inside of one of the Wieners?
I haven't. I remember there was a summer they were in Lincoln, and you said you had ventured in.
Yeah, it was COVID. They came by our radio station, and I went out there, and they were like, "Do you want to go inside?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And then I think they had like a couple of the interns or whatever, and they came on the air, and they did a bunch of puns about ketchup and mustard and relish and stuff, and then they left. It was great, awesome experience. I look forward to the race, Josh. Look forward to the race. All right, let's take a break. We're back with the noon after, where ESPN is hating on Dylan Raiola on 1620 The Zone.
he does it the only way he knows how. With his massive sports brain sprinkled with a smidgen of rabble-rousing. Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
3 poll questions come in on our YouTube comments. Josh, you decide what you want to use here. First one from Sindelar. Poll question, are loud keyboards Gen Z's forbidden fruit?
Okay, definitely using that one.
All right. How about from Andy? Poll question, have you ever wanted to see the inside of a wiener?
That feels a little too much for
You could
us.
even do the Oscar Mayer wiener. You could do the Wiener Mobile.
I would be more likely to do that.
If I remember right, it was a very, I can't remember if I took pictures or not, but if I remember right, it was a very like 70s, like kind of like carpet on the wall, kind of like old family truckster kind of vibe to it.
You hate it now. Wait till you drive it.
If you hate it, you think you hate it now. Wait till you drive it. That was kind of the vibe. And it was so odd because it was a bunch of college kids who were living in it throughout this entire summer. And I'm like, I just kept asking them questions. I was like, you guys are kind of insane. Aren't like you guys took this internship with Oscar Mayer and you just signed up for 3 months of
They said Wiener Mobile and you came running.
So they explained it. There's like, what'd you say? There's 6 of them.
Correct.
And they all just drive throughout the
Zigzag,
country and just be in the wiener. And there's, I think 3 of them a truck, 2 of them maybe, and they just go. They don't even know the people that they get to know them, obviously, but it's like an arranged marriage. Basically, they're just together for the entire summer. Just those like 2 or 3, whatever it is.
Wild.
It is. It's crazy, and they all wear weird shirts and they make puns.
So
it's very odd.
Forgive me for taking this here, but
What?
they're spending all summer hooking up in the Wiener Mobile, right?
Yeah, I know. See, that's a question that I didn't really want to broach with the.
Oh no, I would not ask another human that.
But-
I would just assume until told otherwise.
We were all thinking about it.
Yeah. Hey babe, you want to come back to the Wiener Mobile with me? Oh, is that what you call it? That's so funny. No, it's the Wiener Mobile. Okay, I got to see that.
I meant what I said. And then Drake writes in,
Hi, Drizzy.
have you heard the tragedy of, poll question, have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise?
And now, see, that feels like a Star Wars thing. I don't know what we're talking about there.
I don't either. I would vote no to that poll question because I don't know what that person is talking about.
I could read the entry on Wikipedia.
Sure.
But I won't.
Tell me.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, tell me. Because then we got to talk about Dylan Raiola.
But then the
and how
Star Wars
ESPN
guys
hates
are
it.
going to be like, you're not saying it right. Oh, it's pronounced.
I don't care.
Okay.
All the Star Wars people can be mad at us.
Darth Plagueis was a Mun Dark Lord of the Sith who trained the Stranger and Darth Sidious. Plagueis lusted for immorality, believing the secret lay in science. To that end, he researched bioengineering with Sidious and experimented with his ability to influence the midichlorians to create life. In doing so,
I've heard of that word.
Plagueis acquired considerable knowledge of the Force, but he was ultimately betrayed, and spoiler alert, really, spoiler, I don't know what we're spoiling, but I don't want to spoil anyone's fun.
Alert. Yeah.
And murdered by his own apprentice in accordance with the rule of 2.
Sounds like a whole movie.
It or at least a television show.
Definitely
episode.
a part of a movie. Yeah. Drake follows up.
Hi, Drake.
Oh my God, they're actually talking about this. Well, you put it as a poll question.
Yeah.
We wanted to know more information. That's all. All right, ESPN. They canceled LA Sports Center and they made a list. All of the quarterbacks in the country.
Okay.
Ranking all 136 FBS quarterback. Now, here's the caveat. Situations into tiers.
Situations.
I hate when people talk about situations. Everybody wants to talk about your starting quarterback. What you're doing is you're ranking the quarterbacks. Okay?
But I
just
mean,
say it.
That's a little CYA, right? Oh, we're ranking the situation.
Yeah, they can absolutely. It's a escape hatch. All right. So really, what they're doing is they're ranking the quarterbacks.
Okay.
So, and I love a list with tiers. Now, keep in mind when we do like Big Ten power rankings with tiers, we do power rankings and tiers. ESPN, cowards, they either do power rankings or tiers. In this case, it's just tiers. They don't actually rank the quarterbacks, they just tier them. So I'll tell you up front that of the quarterbacks, they ranked 136 quarterback situations, right? There are, let's see, there's a couple tiers with multiple like sub tiers. Like there's 18A, B, and C, and then there's like 16A and 16B, and then there's 15A and 15B. So there's like 25 tiers, basically. 25 tiers of quarterbacks in the country. Where do you think Dylan Raiola ended up? I'll give you a sampling of the top one. I'll tell you that he's not in the top one.
He's not in the top one?
He's not in the top tier.
Oh, tier.
He's not in the top 1A. He's also not in 1B, but
whoa,
you'll learn that in it. Yeah, there's 1A and 1B. So Cade Klubnik, Garrett Nussmeier, John Mateer, Drew Aller, Lenore Sellers. That's Clemson, LSU, Oklahoma, and Penn State, and South Carolina. The situations. That's the top of the class in terms of the situations.
All right.
Hard to argue, right?
Sure.
Those guys are returning. They're like Heisman favorites. Like, yeah, sure. Absolutely. Class tier 1B. So hot right now.
Oh.
The situations at Florida, Miami, and Texas. DJ Lagway, Carson Beck, and Arch Manning.
Heisman Trophy favorite. Arch Manning.
Heisman Trophy favorite. I'd take a sandwich.
10 times out of 10.
People are in the mode already this summer of they've seen him throw a football and they're starting to freak out about him throwing the football.
Because it's good or bad?
It's good.
Oh, okay.
It's good. It's good.
Well, he's got that bloodline.
Tier 2. Pretty darn good players. We have not run into Dylan Raiola yet. It's after this I will ask you what tier do you think he's in. Sam Levitt and Jeff Sims, by the way. It's Jeff Sims back again. Is he?
How does he have any eligibility left?
Hold on.
Where's he at?
Arizona State.
Still?
Jeff Sims is a graduate transfer with 2 years entering the 2025 season. 3 at Georgia Tech and 1 at Nebraska. He will use one of those years in 2025 and then have it. So this is his final year of college football.
Wow. And
he is technically ranked in front of Dylan Raiola.
Now we got problems.
Sawyer Robinson at Baylor, Haynes King at Georgia Tech, Rocco Beck at Iowa State. How many tiers down do you think we have to go to get to young Dylon?
Multiple tiers?
How many?
Jeff Sims is multiple tiers better than Dylan Raiola?
Maybe. It's up for you to guess.
He has to be in the next one.
He's not. Here's the next one. Talon Green, my guy at Arkansas.
You love that guy.
Darian Mensah at Duke, transferred from Tulane and got a bunch of money, and Nico Iamaleava was mad about it. Jalen Daniels, still eligible somehow at Kansas. Miller Moss, he is transferred to Louisville. Blake Horvath at Navy. Kevin Jennings at SMU, went to the College Football Playoff. Josh Hoover at TCU. Baron Morton at Texas Tech. Diego Pavia, Mr. Eligibility at Vanderbilt. He is in the 3rd tier. Once again, situations. Tier 4, the young pups. Right?
Now this has got to be Dylan.
Bryce Underwood, CJ Carr, Julian Sayin, Damon Williams. No, he's not in there.
I swear to you all, I'm not doing a thing.
Tier
I genuinely
5.
don't know why we haven't read his name yet.
The waiting is the hardest part.
Now that sounds like something you could describe
Yeah.
for our baby boy.
You could. Ty Simpson at Alabama, Gunnar Stockton at Georgia, Austin Simmons at Ole Miss, and Dante Moore at Oregon, each of which sat behind good starting quarterbacks last year. Well, good starting quarterbacks last year, starting quarterbacks who are now into the NFL, or Miami. Tier 6, second time's the charm. Do you think this fits young Dylon?
Second time, year 2.
That's right, Josh. Dylan Raiola, along with Avery Johnson, Nico Iamaleava, CJ Bailey, and Marcel Reed are in this category.
Whoa. What?
So this is very interesting. Have we thought about this yet? Like,
no, I'm just now hearing about this.
No, not the tiers and where he's ranked, but they pointed out, and the story's by David Hale on ESPN. They pointed out that Raiola's numbers from, and you guys know this, right? Nebraska's season tailed off in about the middle. Really, the pinpoint is the Illinois game, and then beyond that, it was kind of a disaster until the very end when you saw that tick up. And that would coincide with when Dana Holgerson got to town. Raiola's numbers last season from October 1st onward.
Oh, okay.
53.8 QBR, 5.95 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns, 11 turnovers, 9.1 yards per completion. That is a poopy, Josh.
4 touchdowns, 11 turnovers?
Yes.
You got to flip that.
Yeah. But all of my optimism is really birthed from the connection with Dylan Raiola and Dana Holgerson. If there is one bright, shining thing that gives me hope and optimism about this upcoming season for Nebraska football, it surrounds one man. And his name is not Dylan Raiola. His name is Dana Holgerson.
Holgo the Oko.
I believe that he can provide the answer to much of Nebraska's issues as a program, but specifically offensively. And you're giving him the keys to a pretty dang good car that just has a little bit of mileage on it now and a little bit of wear and tear. And that's Dylan Raiola. Now, it's not a brand new car, but it's previously owned and it's got a year under its belt, couple thousand miles. That's it. No big deal. That's a car that you could rehabilitate, right? So I trust the driver of this car. This is a proven driver. This is, I don't know, make a racing reference. This is the Jeff Gordon.
Oh,
remember when he had flames on that DuPont
reference.
number 24 in the early 2000s? I do. He's Jeff Gordon. That's who Dana Holgerson is to me. He is the bright, shining star of this thing. But it's interesting that his time coming into the final 3 games of the season last year also coincides with, if in a longer stretch, and we all saw the games, and we all I saw it. I don't know if you guys remember this, but I felt this way while watching it. That immediately upon Dana Holgerson's entrance to the program when he took over as the offensive play caller during the USC game, the week of the USC game, leading into that game, I immediately felt that Dylan Raiola got better and more confident. I thought it was more crisp immediately. I thought it was more so that compounded the next week. Then they had the big game against Wisconsin, and you were trying to piece things together still against Iowa and a cold night against a really good defense. And I don't want to throw that out the window, but I just thought Dylan looked a lot more comfortable in the final 4 games of the regular season and then the postseason last year. But it also coincides with a longer period in which he sucked. There was also a period of the season, and this is the reason why Marcus Satterfield isn't the offensive coordinator anymore, where it was just downright bad. And we were wondering, oh my God, did he just fall victim to what every single Nebraska football quarterback do over the last, is he broken already? How did this already happen? And credit to Matt Rule for pulling the trigger on that thing, for making the change and inserting Dana Holgerson when he did, because if they didn't, and we didn't have that little spurt at the end of this last season to go off of, I don't know what we'd be talking about with Dylan right now. I don't know what we'll be talking about with Holgorsen. Obviously, the track record is there, and that's most of what we're going off of. But it was really nice to have that tangible, like, oh, okay, yeah, I can feel it and I can sense it with him. And there's some tangible, like, oh, Dylan looks a little bit more comfortable in this. And outside of that, I don't know. Outside of me just looking at him and saying, oh, I think he looks like a more comfortable, confident quarterback, and he looks like his, it looks like things are moving a little bit faster in his brain, and he's really stepping into some things. Like, outside of that, I don't know that I could statistically give you the evidence to say, oh, Dylan Raiola was a lot better in the last, in the Dana Holgorsen part of the season last year. But I feel that way. So it was great to have that, because if not, I don't know what the case for him to be a really good quarterback is this year. It would be harder to find, that's for sure. Be a lot harder to find. So there's been a lot of hype and a lot of buzz around him lately, I think, from what he's done from like a leadership standpoint and how he's been able to kind of take over as a voice in the locker room and stuff like that. But, so I think there's internally been a lot of excitement and optimism about him. But externally, I think there's some people going out on the edge and they're like, oh, this could be a year he could be a guy in the context of the Big Ten. I'm not surprised to see people not be so sure about him nationally.
Oh, yeah. What's he,
what are you supposed to do?
What's he shown you, really?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think putting him with Nico Iamaleava is interesting.
Which is many, many tiers below Jeff Sims.
Jeff Sims
and Sam Levitt
was mentioned. Yes. John emails in.
Hi, John.
Now I suppose you're going to tell us you were right about Sims all along, since he's ranked higher than Dylon.
He did turn the ball over less with the Sun Devils.
No. How much did he play? Do you have his stats?
I can get them very quickly.
How do you know that he turned the ball over less? Well, because they made the playoff?
I know I've looked this up before.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you watched those playoff games, you didn't see Jeff Sims.
Maybe he got a straight camera shot at one point. Mm-hmm. Crecky writes in, by the way, these tears are giving me tears. And Andy says, now I know why they closed the ESPN LA office. They don't know Jack Bleep.
Jeff Sims in 4 games last year went 13 of 25, no interceptions.
Whoa!
No touchdowns.
How did he do that? How about fumbles? Did he lose any of those?
I will look. Jeff Sims, 24 carries, 116 yards, 1 touchdown. Fumbles not on here.
24 carries, 116 yards, and a touchdown. Well, if he was at the rate that he was at Nebraska, there's like 5 fumbles buried in there somewhere. Well, you can't find them, though. It's all right. Yeah, it's an interesting list. Once again, the out there is situations. On the tier below, Dylon, consistently consistent. Players like BYU's Jake Retzloff, who had some Heisman buzz for a moment last year. Cincinnati's Brennan Sorsby. Nebraska will see him soon. In 100 days, I guess.
Oh.
Illinois' Luke Altmaier. Indiana's Fernando Mendoza. Michigan State's Aiden Childs. USC's Jaden Mayava. And for the Big Ten pecking order, I would prefer Raiola to pretty much all those guys. Actually, I shouldn't say pretty much all those guys. I'd say all those guys. So the question that I was going to ask last week that we never got around to regarding Dylan, let's do this exercise for a couple minutes. How many teams around the country are trading their current deal for Dylan Raiola? Like, if in a world where the trade, we don't actually have to play this out. Like, if trades are real now, it's a fake thing. Would you trade your situation for Dylan Raiola if you are, half the teams in the Big Ten right now? Think about those quarterbacks that I just named. If you're Illinois and you feel like you have a really solid quarterback and a really solid team in Luke Altmaier, around Luke Altmaier, are you ditching Luke Altmaier to bring in Dylan Raiola? Like, once again, fake thing.
Mhm.
Are you ditching Dylan Raiola or ditching Luke Altmaier to bring in Dylan Raiola and make your ceiling go higher?
I wouldn't think so.
I don't think so either, because it probably makes your floor a little bit lower just in the sense of the unknown. You know, quarterbacks that were mentioned before Dylan Raiola out of the Big Ten Conference. Let's see, how many did we have? Nobody in that tier. Really, just one, I guess. Drew Aller. Obviously, you're not. You are not trading Drew Aller for Dylan Raiola at this point.
No.
Yeah, so that's another interesting. Michigan. Are you trading Bryce Underwood's upside for Dylan Raiola's upside? No, I don't think you
I
are.
wouldn't think so.
I don't think you are. Ohio State, are you trading Julian Sayin, who you haven't seen yet, or Lincoln Kineholtz, I guess? Are you trading either of those guys for the upside of Dylan Raiola? I don't think so.
No.
Are you if you're Washington, you're really excited about Damon Williams, who can run around and do some crazy things offensively, totally different player. You're not trading that for Dylan Raiola at this point. Dante Moore, 5-star, former 5-star, right? But element of the unknown. Are you trading that upside for Dylan's upside? No. So, I mean, we're getting close to about like a handful, 5 or 6 teams there who are like, no, I like our situation a little bit better. And then you get into the weirdo, like, oh, I like, there's this group of like, these guys are really consistent. You know, whoever the new Iowa quarterback who transferred in from South Dakota State, Gronowski, you know, like, in my opinion, you would. You would. Altmaier's an interesting one.
If you're an Iowa fan, you would, right? But like in the facility, they're probably like, no, we love our guy.
We love our guy. No, of course. This is a fake exercise. Once again,
I love fake exercise. It's my favorite.
Yeah, it's certainly better than real exercise. I'll tell you
Damn
that.
right.
All right, let's take a quick timeout. We'll be back. If you have any thoughts on this, let us know. 402-951-1620. Before we do take a break, I'd like to remind you to not miss the chance to win $5,000 with the Mo Money giveaway. You can enter right now, 1620thezone.com. That is Mo Money with Saul's Jewelry and Loan and us here at 1620 The Zone. All right, folks, it's time for some MLB reaction, overreaction. We couldn't help but notice in between the two games at the SEC baseball tournament, the first one is complete. Alabama has ended Missouri's season. So sad to see Missouri's season end this soon.
Yeah, I shed a tear during the break.
Yep.
Trying to compose myself.
Coming up next is Kentucky and Oklahoma, a couple teams that have been in Omaha recently. Kentucky was here last year. Oklahoma was here 2 years ago. Or maybe it was 3 now. But they'll play each other. But we couldn't help but notice that the SEC said, I know people, you probably hear this over and over and over again. So let me be the 400th person to tell you. The SEC actually cares about baseball, and they do a really good job. They have a studio show that's set up like on the outfield concourse of, the Hoover, what is it? The Hoover Met, I guess. Whatever ballpark they playing out there. And it's this cool little park and everybody's there, and
they make you pay for stuff though.
They get players that show up. They're like showing highlights from old SEC tournament moments, and like they make it into a thing. And I'm telling you, you could do it. I know that the interest isn't there right now, and the conferences and the people who are paying for this stuff, they were like, well, we got to see the interest in order to put some money into it. Yeah, I get that. But man, it'd be nice to send the message, hey, we care about this just a little bit. Because once again, coverage on the Big Ten Network, live coverage did not take over until 1 minute before the first pitch of the tournament today.
We would do it.
Sure.
Like, we'll throw some Big Ten Network polos on and do it for you.
Absolutely. I love the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'd say that over and over again.
We'd honk
if I was
for them.
paid. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Josh, it's time for MLB reaction, overreaction for the week. The writers have come up with some takes that are sweeping the world of baseball right now. So what have they come up with?
That's right. I have the takes. They are off the printer, and it starts as follows. The Pirates should trade Paul Scheels.
This is the talk of the sport right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't figure out which direction I want to go with this. I know what the result is, and the answer is, God, no, you should not trade Paul Scheels. But I'm trying to figure out why people are saying this. Like, do you buy that it's because the youths are too like NBA and NFL pilled, and they're like, well, if you're not very good with them, then why not just be really bad and then try and create what do you gain by trading Paul Scheels? You're trying to get more Paul Scheels. And the idea on having a pitcher who is young and dominant the way he is, the cool part about it in baseball is that you really don't have to pay him any money for like another 5 years. It's pretty great. And so there's, like, in my opinion, you would have to get the biggest haul of all time. At which point it still makes no sense. Like, you're really selling the lot on being competitive. If you're entertaining this, you're selling yourself on being competitive for the next handful of years, which is ridiculous. I mean, that's not, you could like create a good team around him. I understand that there's building frustration, and if I'm Scheels, like, I'm getting sick of pitching really well and not winning any games, of course. And so the way to anyone's heart, any young star's heart, always, when they perform over a period of time, is, yeah, whatever, you can pay me all the money you want, or sign me or don't sign me, whatever. Just put a good team around me.
Right.
Please. That's all I want.
Why not do that?
Put a good team around me. And that's all. Like, you can do that.
Obviously,
you could do that if you just try.
Ownership there is terrible and not going to do that, obviously.
Sure.
I think we know enough about Paul Scheels to where he's not going to walk into the front office and go, trade me me today.
I don't think so. And we've probably made a little bit too much about the whole body language. Like, he has looked pissed lately.
Yeah, he generally does all the time.
He generally does, but he looks like, it looks like he kind of hates his life.
I mean, he hasn't lost baseball in a long time. Like his baseball teams have been very good, but
he's pretty good at this.
The longer the Pirates hold on to him, the bigger the haul gets theoretically. Right? Or do you think
I'm not trading him?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to let him go for nothing in 5 years, but
no, I want to sign him long term.
Well, they might not do that either.
If you put a good team around him, then.
But they're not going to.
That's what I'm saying. All this is fixed by just trying.
Mm-hmm.
Just try.
Yes.
They should try.
They should try.
They should try.
Because that city loves that team. That fan base loves that team, even if they are in last place, which they currently are by a lot.
If they're not trying, then they should keep him until he hits free agency and then lose him for a compensatory pick. And that's it. That's the story.
Wow.
You should keep that guy in your franchise as long as you possibly can. Now,
you'd let him walk.
If all of a sudden he wants to, if you're not trying, which is not a thing that I would do.
Okay. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
You're not
keep
trying.
Him on your team
so
and
why
trying to get people in the building?
Why get the haul? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I'll take half a season of Paul Skeens starts versus selling him at the trade deadline before. Okay.
It's a stupid proposition, in my opinion, for this whole thing. Just try.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my advice to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I think in that division, it would also be
be
easier to try than
yeah.
maybe you think.
Yeah. Might be a good idea to try. Chris writes in, poll question, should the Pirates try? Yeah, we can put that up. I'll throw that one up here once.
Okay, you got it. I'll read the second take from our lovely, lovely writers who we would never trade. Take number 2, check swing reviews will be good for the game.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have not. It sounds horrible.
Let me finish. Oh, nope. Don't go live, please. Should the Pirates try? Yes, no is on X.
Kenneth with an interesting question that it's going to piss some people off, but I do think there is a little bit to it. Where does Livy factor in all of this?
What do you mean?
She gives your team a little bit of social currency. I don't think the Pirates front office is thinking of that, but
well, I wonder. Well,
she does make your team matter a little more because Paul Skeens is on it. What's that worth?
Well, are we ready to have reaction overreaction? Paul Skeens and Livy Dunn break up within the next year.
Whoa, you gonna put it on the board?
I'm just saying, reaction overreaction.
That would be an overreaction.
You don't think they're breaking up? You think they're getting married?
Those two are for real.
You think so? I don't know. They're weird.
I think she wants the wedding, Connor.
Yeah,
because
he seems fine with it.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
I don't know. So maybe she, to Kenneth's point, maybe she says, Paul, why don't you ask your boss if you could get traded to a different team like Miami or something?
Miami, New York, LA. It'd be much better for my career.
Maybe it's a factor. All right. So check swing reviews.
Yeah. What are these?
This is crap. So Major League Baseball is introducing a check swing challenge system in Single A after they did this in the Arizona Fall League last year. We may have briefly mentioned this on the show. A check swing challenge. It's the same thing as the ABS where they put it up on the board and they do like a little animated replay of what the bat does.
Okay, so it's quick.
It is quick, but there would.
What is it looking?
This, and I like how this is worded by the writers. Nice job by them, because good for the game is interesting, and I think the knowledge of actually knowing what a check swing is might be good for the game. This has turned into block charge.
Great take.
This has turned into complete, nobody knows at all. And I don't think.
But we all shout at our television.
Yes. He did go. The umpires that are placed 100 feet down the line, they have no idea. The umpires behind the plate, they have no idea. how many have you ever tried to ask a person in a ballpark the question of like, hey, so what do they actually like? What's the rule on this? Did you know this?
Is it the wrists? Is it the bat? Is it the
up until just a few years ago, MLB's rule book had no official guideline on check swings.
Whoa.
It was not defined in the rule book what it is. Does the bat have to cross the plate? Do the wrists break? What does that mean when people say that? Now, they have technology is allowing, this is from a CBS Sports article, technology is allowing MLB to change that on some level. As Baseball America reported last fall, if the bat's barrel is judged to have traveled more than 45 degrees past its final stopping point, then it is judged a swing. If it moves less than 45 degrees, it is not a swing. It is not clear which way the call could go if the barrel lands exactly at 45 degrees. So they have a way to mathematically, kind of test this. I think it would be, I don't like this for the record, but I do like the idea of people knowing what a check swing is.
That's exactly where I'm at.
Yeah, it might help.
I mean, you're just going to have every player spinning their fingers, putting the headphones on.
Yeah.
Review it.
Yeah. Next.
Take number 3. Juan Soto needs image rehabilitation.
It's been a tough week for,
Has it, though?
So here's Juan Soto. How old is Juan Soto, Josh, if you had to guess?
Oh, wow. What a great question. 28?
Juan Soto is not yet 27. He just had his 26 and a half birthday.
That is a big boy. Wow.
Juan Soto has now played for 4 major league teams. And
yeah.
None of them seem to really enjoy him.
That is true.
He's 26. And now he plays for the Mets and he's the center, piece, focal point of the franchise, that whole thing. And he sort of has a reputation to uphold. And there's all these rumors about what he's doing and he wants to fly separately from the team.
I heard this and I said, that cannot be true.
And he's getting out of the mic'd up interviews because he doesn't want to talk about stuff anymore. And he's not hustling. Did you see this play last night?
I heard about it. I have not seen the play in question.
So he pimps a deep fly ball to left, not a deep drive by Castellanos, but a deep fly to left off of the Green Monster. Not that high off the Green Monster, I might add, in Boston.
A place he's familiar with, having been a Yankee.
Yes. He pimps it. He stands in the box and waits a while, and then at the end of the play, he's only on first base. Now, we've seen long singles in that ballpark before. It's not totally crazy, but if he's getting after it out of the box, he is probably on second base. The point is,
typical New York baseball fan doesn't know what isn't a home run off the bat.
Juan Soto was a young, exciting player that everyone kind of, he had this swagger about him, and there was the Soto shuffle and all this stuff.
He's going to lead the league in walks every year, and
I think you're seeing firsthand what happens to these guys when they go to so many different teams. They're playing so many different teams, and you have to ingratiate yourself into so many different fan bases. And to your point, Josh, like, he don't care. He's making $700 million over a contract.
He's a merc now.
Yeah, he does not care.
Nobody goes to the Mets if they want to win.
Here's the problem with that. In order to do that, you have to produce.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be good. And so far this year, he hasn't been very good. So I don't know. I think he either needs to be really good or have some image rehab. People don't like this guy anymore.
Yeah. I'm kind of coming to this realization over the last few days. Yeah. Huh.
I don't like him anymore. I used to love him. I don't like him anymore.
When he won that World Series with the Nats,
that was like, cool.
That kid's
I was like, this guy's going to own the game for like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't like him anymore. I hated him last year with the Yankees.
Seemed to fit in really well with the Padres and that ragtag group of guys who should be better than they are.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Take number 4. Pete Rose will eventually get in the Hall of Fame.
All right, so we've had a couple weeks now to, or I guess 1 week to sit on this news. It doesn't feel like the wind is blowing any differently than it was at first.
This was not the seismic shift, the seismic announcement that we had been waiting decades for. It came and it went and it is gone.
Eventually is the key word. I can't tell you with any certainty that will happen, but I'm feeling like it will.
So,
but they're going to have to make the dead guy wait.
I think what will probably happen is there will be a year where, oh crap, we don't have a headliner.
Yeah, maybe.
Should we kind of start juicing the market for Pete Rose to get in? And
okay, here's a question for you, Josh. We haven't explored this yet. We don't have very much time to do so. But would you advocate for it? Would you, if you were a voter, would you put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Because I would, but
but you got to put it on the plaque.
I have a much higher threshold for the things that, like I say, put all the steroid guys in.
Mm-hmm. I would. Gambling needs to be on the plaque, I guess.
He's got 4,000 hits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a lot of hits. And when you got him talking about baseball, that was great. Love to hear it. But all the other stuff I hated to hear.
Everybody's a little bit nervous.
That stupid white hat that he always wore. What is wrong with that hat? The flat bill white. Why did he always do that?
I do think he was a rope hat guy before rope hats were.
Yeah, I bet.
I never threw mine out, brother.
And one final thing to the baseball savant corner.
Here we go.
All right, your favorite player, Josh? Marcell Ozuna.
Couldn't possibly have an opinion on him.
He leads the category in this. They're tracking average speed of home run trot. How long does it take you to get around the bases?
He's not a very fast guy.
This year, Luis Torrens is for the Mets has hit 1 home run, and it took him 35 seconds to get around the bases. We're not counting him. So out of the people who have hit at least, let's just say 5 home runs, and Marcell Ozuna has 8, it takes Marcell Ozuna an average of 32 seconds to get around the bases. What's he doing out there? That's a long time. What's he doing out there?
Sidestepping, like trotting. It's a literal trot. I mean, his nickname is the Big Bear.
He's taking so long.
He's looking at that thing.
Yeah.
And he ain't moving if that thing ain't over the wall.
So when I think home run pimpers in baseball,
okay.
Like, let me give you some names of the top 15 on this list. Jock Peterson.
Yes.
Randy Arozarena.
Yes.
Manny Machado.
Yes.
Juan Soto.
Okay.
Jordan Alvarez.
Oh, yeah.
O'Neal Cruz. Vladdy Jr.
This is a great list.
Salvador Perez. Not much of a pimper, but just slow. Just really, really slow, and hasn't hit. He's only hit 2 home runs this entire year. And then you get into the fat guys category, which is a different category of people, but the home run pimpers are always going to be a little bit slower. You know, they just like looking. That's cool.
Big Bear likes to
stare.
He wants to make sure.
He likes to admire his work, as Jeffrey says.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I think that's absolutely right.
And you know, I guess we'll allow it. I guess.
Oh, do you have an opinion on this,
I don't.
Josh?
I've told you repeatedly. I have no opinions.
It sounded like
on
you almost,
Marcell Ozuna.
Sounded like you almost had an opinion. Okay. All right.
I think I'm allowed to. I just don't.
Okay. That is MLB reaction, overreaction. Thank you, writers. Well done. Go take a nap for a little while. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. Michigan has tied the game with Illinois in the Big Ten baseball tournament.
It's on. They're playing it.
So all the people who are checking their radios, looking for it on XM, Sirius XM. You got Howard Stern on channel 101, or no, channel 1.
I don't know.
Well, I used to always listen to Howard Stern with my dad in the car.
Wow. A family show, if there ever was one.
I know. It's great. Eventually, he stopped caring about changing the channel when they would talk about bad things. And that's when I knew I was an adult. That I should probably drive my own car and not listen to Howard Stern. Michigan has just tied it with a 2-run home run in the, let's see, what inning are we in here?
It was the 8th during the break.
5-5 is your score between the Illini and the Wolverines. Yes, it is top 9. Why did they make this score bug impossible to see? They made the colors, it says top of the 9th, like the inning and the count. It's like in this weird orange color, and I can barely see it. Also because I'm watching on a very small television.
And
Michigan,
we've said it a million times, the Big Ten does not care about baseball color.
No. But really, do you have to make it actively difficult for people to watch?
Yes.
Michigan was the only team really left that had a outside shot at an at-large that wasn't already like projected to be in the field. And I still don't think, even if they'll have to win the championship in order to get in, much like Nebraska, we'll talk about here in just a couple minutes. But Josh, I have a movie question for you.
All right.
So I saw a poster, and this got retweeted onto my timeline today. Tell me about Jurassic World Rebirth. Now, before you answer the question, it's only in theaters, by the way. Great.
That's right.
July 2nd. Mm-hmm. So 4th of July weekend, people are saying that this could be the movie of the summer. I don't know if they're saying that, but that's when movies like that are released.
Right.
So, didn't we just do this?
Didn't we just
have a Jurassic Park movie? Like last year?
No. I'll get you the dates here. Don't worry.
We just had a Jurassic Park movie.
We had one last in 2022.
Okay.
Which is not last year.
3 years ago, Josh. How many Jurassic Park movies have there been? How many movies are there? Well, last year there was a Twister movie, wasn't there?
That's right, Connor.
Okay, Jurassic Park and Twister are the same.
That's right.
So, I actually didn't. All right. Yep, that makes sense.
If you're new to the show,
how many Jurassic Park movies have there been?
This is the 7th.
7? Why?
They keep making $1 billion every time. Would you say no to $1 billion if you ran a movie studio? No, of course not.
No,
of course not.
I wouldn't.
And I mean, Scarlett Johansson was wandering around movie lots for years going, I want to be in a Jurassic World movie.
So I was wondering about that. The poster depicts some sort of dinosaur that I'm sure you or your child could identify.
That's right.
Or maybe a new species of dinosaur that is unknown to human man, climbing up the side of a wall with Scarlett Johansson looking kind of like Indiana Jones just rappelling off of that wall.
That's right.
That was intriguing to me.
Mm-hmm.
I still like some ScarJo.
Well, you can see her in Jurassic World Rebirth this summer, only in theaters.
Now, do I need to have seen the other Jurassic World
It
movies?
would help if you had seen the original Jurassic Park movie from 1993.
I have seen that.
You have seen that?
Yes, I have a Jurassic Park watch that I got from a Happy Meal from my great aunt.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's put a pin in that. Cut you a blank check after the show.
She gave it. So I don't know what this. I can't remember what the story was. She gave it to me at some point, like it within the last 5 or 10 years. She's like, I gave this to you when you were young, but then I ended up with it again.
Oh wow!
She kept it for all those years and gave it was a Jurassic Park, like from a Happy Meal.
This is this summer's movie is the start of a new trilogy, and as we all know, how many movies are in a trilogy, John Bishop? 3. That's right.
Nice.
So we'll presumably start a new one here.
So this is the third.
This is the first of a new trilogy.
So there's going to be 2 more.
Theoretical. I don't know what their plan is. I mean, I guess if this is the stinker of the century, they might.
So this is the 7th movie. That means this is the 3rd start of the 3rd trilogy,
right?
And the last one was what?
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World Dominion.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then there was just Jurassic Park.
Yes, 1, 2, 3. Very simple. The second one was The Lost World, Jurassic Park, but
Jurassic World Rebirth.
Mhm.
Okay. Are you interested?
Incredibly.
Well, yeah, your kid likes dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's right.
Where's Ranger Anthony? I bet
He was here for the crossover. He's probably working, educating the youth of America about dinosaurs and fossils and other science-related facts.
I have been noticing that ScarJo's been showing up on some stuff.
That is why. Why was she on the last episode of SNL?
I just figured that they have access to her all the time because of Colin Jost.
It's probably a very easy ask, yes.
I mean, they had her stand there one time where they told jokes about her you-know-what.
And she retorted over the weekend.
But that wasn't about Jurassic World the first time.
It was not.
The second time might have been.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. It's kind of fun.
Yeah. I can tell you everything you want to know about the Jurassic series of movies.
Who's in it? Who stars?
It depends on what.
Who starred in the last trilogy?
The last trilogy was
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt. What's Chris Pratt up to these days? Well, is he going to make a cameo?
Marrying a Schwarzenegger.
Oh, cool.
Or a Kennedy.
Nice.
Or a Shriver.
Chris in South Carolina, poll questions are Jurassic Park and Twister movies the same? Now, we've already done that poll question before, and the answer is, of course they are.
Of course they are.
They occupy the same space in my brain.
There's a through line that is the same, I guess.
Thank you.
A disaster has struck good-hearted folk.
I don't know why we have to do another Jurassic Park movie.
Connor, my child buys every toy that his idiotic parents buy him.
Can't they make new movies?
Toy.
Can't they just at all make new movies, new concepts, new universes?
No, because you won't go. Everyone clamors for something. Why don't they have an original movie? Just make something new. Because when they do, you don't go see them.
Yeah, but
they do Jurassic Park 7.
Yeah, but Josh, the last time they made an original movie, it was 14 hours long. That's why nobody went.
A lot of people saw Oppenheimer. It was good.
And now this is
Best Picture.
It's just low-hanging fruit. I'm mad at Hollywood. That's why I stopped watching movies.
Do this, do that. All right, we've bent to your every whim. I don't know. You won't let me take my blanket to the movie theater.
Well, we know what happens with the blankets. Black Cat Right said, says the guy screenwriting Con Air 2 Da Moon. That's right.
Yeah, why don't you just write an original story, Connor?
Well, I want that $1 billion. He would make.
That's right,
$1
Connor.
billion.
We can merch this thing. We can sell rockets and spaceships. And
That's fair.
Action figures.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take a little bit of my own medicine on that one. All right, we'll be back. The 1 o'clock hour is coming up. We'll talk about Nebraska's time in the Big Ten baseball tournament. What's working for them? What's working against them? Joe Lunardi's newest bracketology.
Yeah, we got to break this thing down.
And more details on Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. They have people wondering if somebody popped the question. Back after this on 1620 The Zone. yeah, I forgot to mention one more thing that I wanted to talk about today in regards to the NFL. Josh,
the NFL, we love the league.
The NFL. They just made their schedule.
They did.
So, Josh, if there's one thing about me that you probably know, you could put me in a lot of different, areas, right, of people based on the things that I think. You know me pretty well.
I do. You're
And
my best friend.
You know that I generally don't appreciate change.
That is correct.
But I try. I try to be adaptable, and I would consider myself to be an adaptable person. I roll with the punches.
Yes.
And I show up and whatever happens, we just attack the day.
Mhm.
And so don't get me wrong, whatever happens that changes around us in sports, we will have to adjust to and make the best out of. But while it's in the talking phase and the figuring out what we're going to do next and it's being discussed, I can be mad about it and I could rail against it. So the NFL is having some meetings this week in Minneapolis.
Really? Minneapolis?
Minneapolis.
Wow.
It's lovely this time of year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aren't these normally in Miami?
I don't know. There's just some meetings. It's not like the league. I don't know.
Okay.
There's just meetings. There is a proposal that will be discussed. A playoff-related initiative that will be introduced. And in advance of the last round of meetings, the Detroit Lions proposed reformatting the playoffs by basing home field advantage strictly on record. However, there was hesitance among owners to strip division champions of their first-round home field advantage, which is what they'd be doing, prompting modification to reseed after the wild card round. Under the new proposal, teams would be reseeded based strictly on record for the divisional round. So reseeded after the wild card round, regardless of whether a team won its division or made the playoffs as a wild card. So let's think about this in practice a little bit. We'll revisit the 2024 NFC playoffs. Under the current playoff format, 4 division winners in each league are awarded top seeds, which holds throughout the postseason. 3 wildcard teams earn seeds 5 through 7, as you know. The 1 seed gets a bye immediately into the divisional round. 2 plays 7, 3 plays 6, and 4 plays 5, with the higher seed, aka the divisional champion, hosting in the first round. You know this. You're familiar with this concept because it's been this way for a while. Although they did add an extra game,
and we'll soon add another.
And once again, we roll with it. We're fine with it, but we're going to complain about it, adding more things and doing different things. The wild card round would remain the same under the new proposal. Change would begin in the second round. Instead of the top seeded team playing the lowest remaining seed in the divisional round, the team with the best record would play the team with the worst record.
Okay.
The team with the second best record would play the team with the second worst record. So, here's how it looked. If the new proposal would have been played out last year. I mean, here's what we had in the divisional in the wild card round last year. I'm sorry. Here's what we had in the wild card round last year. The Lions in the NFC had a bye. The Eagles hosted the Packers. The Bucks hosted the Football Commanders. And the Rams hosted the Minnesota Vikings. Do we remember these?
Couldn't forget.
Out of that, the Commanders, of course, advanced, upset the Bucks, and then went to Detroit for their divisional round game. The Eagles got the Rams, who beat the Vikings, and the divisional round matchups would have changed due to the Commanders having a better record than the Rams. So under the new proposal, the divisional round would have looked like this. The Lions hosting the Rams and the Eagles hosting the Commanders in this in this regard. In the AFC playoffs, we would have had, I guess it would have been the same. Yes, it would have been the same in the AFC. So here is just me bringing this up because it's brought up as a proposal in the NFL, and it might not seem like that big of a deal, which is all the more reason for me to say, why are we changing it? Who wants this and why? Right? Obviously, the Detroit Lions want it for some reason. And why?
So it seems like they really want to change the wild card round, but they don't have the votes for it. And they essentially said, we're changing something.
They don't want to, like, they want to change. So, like, in the case of the Vikings this year, right? The Vikings lose that Week 18 game against Detroit, and then they are banished to play a road game in Matthew Stafford's backyard in the first game of the playoffs, in which they get throttled.
How could a 7-9 team host a playoff guy?
Exactly.
We always do.
Win your division.
Yes.
It's very simple. These are the rules that we have set out. There are the thing that makes the NFL, like, it's not the thing that makes it interesting or the thing that makes it good, but we have parameters. We have parameters. And it's the same thing with the college football playoff this year. And they're talking about changes seating on that thing to make it all wide open as well. I like that if you win your conference or if you win your division in the NFL, you are rewarded for it. And yes, if there is a team rewarded for something, that means there's going to be another team in that same set of teams who gets hurt because of it. That's how it works. Everybody can't be happy. And so mostly it's just that for me. Like, we're trying to find a way to, why did this team get hurt so much? Because they just lost one game. They won 14 games that year. I'm sorry, man. This is cyclical. It goes round and round and round and round and round. And sometimes you're in a division where two teams have 14 wins at the end of the season. And sometimes
these things happen.
These things. Sometimes you win a division by winning 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up at the 4th seed and you end up getting a home playoff game. Sometimes you're on the right side of history. I just what I'm most mad at, as I always am, is the reactiveness to all of these things. With the whole changing of the rules in the playoffs when Josh Allen, he needs an overtime. He needs a chance to possess the ball in overtime. We're changing rules based on singular instances that are happening either inside football games or within the context of a playoff. And I'm sick of it. Like, I don't like it. I don't think that's what I don't think that's what this is for. And for some reason, somewhere along the way, we really tapped into our ability in sports to be able to change long-standing things.
We can just change it. It's fine.
We could just change it.
If it didn't go your way, we can just change it.
We can just change it. Onside kick rule didn't really work out the way we thought it was going to. We'll just adjust it. We'll change rules. You remember the year where they were allowing people to throw flags on pass interferences? What the hell was that?
I challenge that.
That was ridiculous. That was the stupidest idea of all time. So it's just the reactiveness to all this that really triggers me the most. I hope that we could be less reactive as a society going forward. Yes, that's right. I'm blaming society.
It's a good take.
Thank you, Josh.
You can just, I lost a game. I can just hit the reset button. It's fine. It's no big deal.
I think winning your division should be, you should be rewarded for winning your division. And if you don't win your division, unfortunately, you can view it as whatever you want. But yeah, you are not going to get helped out as much by the format as the teams that actually won their division.
Imagine a group of athletes saying, there is adversity in front of us. We dare not try and go through it. Let's change everything so that we can go around the adversity instead of meet it head on.
What are you referencing, Josh?
Just how soft ass society is.
Thank you. I appreciate that. By the way, in our response to our poll question, should the Pirates try? O-Trips, our resident Pirates fan, says, what the bleep is this, Happer? Well, the Pirates came up during our show today, and I accused them of not trying. And I do think they should try. I'm saying, Chips, you might like this. What I said was they should not trade Paul Skeens, and they should just consider trying instead. I actually think that you should like that as a Pirates fan. But there is the case of that Sam made earlier, which is when the Pirates are bad, it does make better tweets for Mr. O'Trips. Him always, threatening to be like that guy who fell off of the right field wall. Always threatening to kind of, do one of the, Josh, give me the.
Oh, sorry, sir.
And I want to kill myself, jump in the cold and die of frostbite.
Does make for more of those when they're not trying. But I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to have good baseball teams. All right, Nebraska, speaking of baseball teams, Nebraska baseball is...
You want everyone to have a good baseball team. Remember, you just said that.
Of course I do. I want everybody to be happy. I like when people are happy. I don't like changing formats of things, and unfortunately not everybody gets to be happy as a result of that. Which is another reason I can't understand why the Big Ten changed their stupid format. I know they added a bunch of teams, but why do this weirdo format? Anyway, it appears as if Michigan is about to walk off Illinois.
Wow. What a choke job.
Unless they ground into a double play here, which is possible. Bases are loaded. 5-5, bottom 9. Michigan's about to grab their first win in pool play. Nebraska baseball tonight in the Big Ten tournament against Michigan State. So I was curious about this because I was thinking about Nebraska baseball and if they could hit the reset button and potentially, make a run here. And what's sort of stacked against them. I would say that off the periphery, like tangentially, anecdotally, I kind of like how they approach ground ball to first. They got the out at home and back to first. Oh, not disseminating, but it's a double play. Wow, we're going to extras downtown. Nice turn by Illinois.
Running long after the first game.
Yeah, pretty good. That guy is yelling a lot of cuss words at his own friends.
Whoa.
It is baseball players yelling cuss words at their own teammates season. That's for sure. But I was thinking that Nebraska baseball, like against aces, against Friday night guys, I kind of like I have generally liked their approach, right? Like I feel like they can get to those type of guys. You get them into a one-game situation and it's best on best. I like how Nebraska lines up. Think about how they performed this year against some of the best teams that they've played, right? It feels like there's just something extra in those games. So from that perspective, I kind of like Nebraska. I think they'll put their best foot forward tonight against Michigan State. And it's not just the 12th seed in the tournament. You're getting the best pitcher in the conference. However, there has been this issue for Nebraska. They have been awful on quote unquote Friday nights.
Well, it's Tuesday, Connor.
But this is the Friday night of the series.
Oh.
And you've lost your Friday night starter, or you replaced him, and he's just in the mix with everybody else now and Will Walsh. And so tonight is a game where it's like Creighton was last year. They were, after Dom Cancelleri got hurt, your 2025 Big East pitcher of the year, by the way, after he got hurt and Creighton didn't really have a Friday night option, it was just bullpen all the time. That's what Nebraska's going into tonight, which isn't necessarily that bad if you can piece it together, if you have enough guys that you could trust. But you have to remember that there is another team. And the other team just so happens to, in this case, have the best pitcher in the conference in Joseph Giroux from Michigan State. So Nebraska in Friday night games of the conference series this year, Friday night weekend series games, 3-7.
Ooh.
3-7 in the league. Although they did win on a Friday against Oregon State in that series. So, you could improve it by 1. But that's kind of been, when the pitching tends to even out over the weekend, right? Or if you look at it over the course of a weekend, Nebraska has enough to get by there. But if we're talking about one game scenario, best on best, Nebraska loses that. And this is a really specific case where you're getting the best guy in the conference against you trying to piece it together. So your margin for error tonight, let's just put it this way, your margin for error is just incredibly slim. And so, I don't know. On the other hand, I like this team with their backs up against the wall. I like this team who's, they're being challenged, right? Like the challenge is, hey, look, you got the best guy in the conference. Go get him,
They have played well against like those SEC teams.
That's what I'm saying.
Those big, like, hey, everybody's watching. It's a big game.
Exactly. So I think they'll get up for it. I just think the odds are kind of stacked against them in this game in particular. There's a bunch of things working against each other. So basically, if you win, you get a chance to stay alive. And Michigan State plays Oregon on Thursday. Nebraska will play Oregon on Friday in the Big Ten tournament. If you lose, you're done. Because if everybody goes 1-1 in the bracket, the higher seed advances, then you assume that the 1-1 team will be, well, the 1-1 team will, the top seed, if they're all 1-1, will advance, and that will be Oregon. Right? There's no scenario in which Oregon has less wins and the other two teams are tied. So, I don't know. I feel like the odds are stacked against Nebraska tonight. I hope that they, they at least are kind of locked in, right? And we get the best version of them tonight, however it ends up going. But they're really going to have to grind it out against this Jurassic guy. Ty Horn's going to have to give him something. And if he gets in any trouble, like in the first inning, they'll have no hesitation. And they shouldn't, because your season's on the line. This is basically like deep into a regional situation. So, I don't know. I won't make a prediction, but I do think it's a little stacked against him.
No prediction.
Oh, should I make a prediction? Fine. I think they'll lose.
Whoa.
I'm just playing the odds in my head. Like, once again, I like parts about them going into this game, but I just think, one game scenario, they're best. It just hasn't been a place where Nebraska's thrived this year, because their best does not match up against the other team's best.
But the bullpen, you can get to the bullpen.
If you can get to Michigan State's bullpen, yeah.
Touch them.
Yeah, absolutely. But odds are, you won't. He goes deep into games. Illinois has just hit a solo home run in the top of the 10th inning to make it 6-5.
Big Ten Baseball just shared the clip of this gentleman yelling swear words at his teammates.
At his friends? Yes. Any insight on the words that he was saying?
I'm not
at the liberty to say.
Not prepared to pay that fine. No.
Got you.
There were many.
Placat writes in.
Hi, Placat.
Game 1 going to extras. Surely there won't be any baseball played at 8 a.m. or 11 p.m. this week.
No.
Now, here's the deal. There's only 3 games today. So Nebraska's game will likely not start at 6. In fact, I'm probably ready to proclaim it. That game will almost for sure not start at 6, given that 6 is 4.5 hours from now.
And there's 2 breaks and another game to get in.
Correct. So I'm going to say it won't start at 6, but it'll probably be like 7.
Which is fine.
Right. That's why you schedule 3 games in a day. All right. We'll be back. Still a couple more things to cover before we get out of here on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here comes the clown.
Did you know, Josh, that there is a Wikipedia page that has tried to document all of the nicknames used by President Donald Trump?
Oh, no, I did not know that. That would be an extensive Wikipedia
It's
page.
long. Yeah. Yeah.
Probably be pretty funny to read through.
It is. It is. And I don't know what led. Oh yeah, because I was gonna bring up an article from the New York Times.
The failing New York Times.
Yeah, and I typed that in to see, like, if that was documented anywhere. And it's actually not on this page. This is mostly for people.
Just people?
Yeah.
Is there one for products, a separate one?
Well, there is one for the New York Times. It does say failing New York Times on here. There is an entry for that. There's a few for CNN, fake news CNN, low ratings CNN, the Clinton News Network, as he has apparently called that before.
Many have.
Any other names that you'd like to names or things that you wonder about what Donald Trump has called in the past?
No. I'm going
Really?
to say no.
Ben Sass is on here. They called him Little Ben Sass.
Little Ben, that's right. Little Ben.
He has great nicknames. I have to give it to
He's
him.
good at nicknames.
He's very good. How about Kamala?
Careful.
Yeah. Laughing Kamala. Lion Kamala.
No, laughing.
It says laughing Kamala.
She's always laughing.
Ron DeSantis is on here.
I bet he is.
Remember DeSanctimonious? He
Uh-huh.
retired that one.
You don't see that guy much anymore.
So this one is, I saw him at the College World Series last year.
That's right. That was last year, though.
This one is denied. Trump is saying that he never called DeSantis this, but one of them is listed as Meatball Ron. Okay. So there you go. I was looking through that during the break, so I had to bring it up a little bit.
Meatball Ron.
I never said that, though. That's what he's saying. Anyway, story in the New York Times about Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson.
Bill.
So this is making the rounds a little bit today. It's not unlike a story that you've heard before about Jordan Hudson's impact on Bill Belichick and her engagement level with the team and the university.
Choice of words.
Yes, thank you. I planted that seed a little bit there. So let me read you. Read you a portion here of this story from the failing New York Times today. Miss Hudson has taken control of the management of his personal brand, his being Belichick, and used her new status to her own audacious advantage. She has torpedoed an HBO series and attempted to trademark Mr. Belichick's famous catchphrases. On social media, she has posted a steady stream of photos highlighting their romance. She has hobnobbed with celebrities, promoted political causes, and somehow amassed a real estate portfolio worth more than $8 million. We were wondering about that last week. All to the bewilderment of the coach's fans and those close to him, many of whom consider her a distraction or worse. And Ms. Hudson has told at least one person that she and Mr. Belichick are engaged to be married.
Whoa.
Now, you can't go around telling people that if it's not true. All right? That's kind of one of the rules. That kind of has to be true.
So,
are we drawing the line here, Josh? Where are we going? What's next in this saga?
I'm at a point. We like to have fun here. We're very sarcastic. We joke around a lot.
Are we worried?
I'm genuinely worried we have elder abuse on our hands here. I'm not joking when I say that. He needs to come out and say that he's doing some of these things, because it really just looks like she's doing all of these things.
Well, nobody has nobody's outright said it yet. She's taking his money and buying houses with it. but we can't be that far away from somebody. Somebody's looking into this, right?
I saw my nemesis Colin Cowherd said that the children of Bill were questioning the will.
Oh no! Oh,
I don't know how true any of that is,
no.
but yeah, if I was one of his kids, I'd be like, hey, she's taking my inheritance.
I wonder who she told that they were engaged.
Probably somebody at Miss Maine, in which she competed.
Yeah.
And finished third.
Yeah. This is odd. It's very odd. And the thing is, we wouldn't have to care about this if Bill Belichick really is signed up for this and he doesn't want to deal with all the people asking him questions about her anymore, like Michael Strahan tried to on Good Morning America last week, then that's fine. He could go live his life and nobody would care about him, and he could be be sitting in the background if he was the coach at North Carolina. Yep. But he is. He is.
That's the weird part of all of this,
the
right?
Impasse. This is the impasse. If he wants to continue being the head coach at North Carolina, he'll have to continue answering questions like this or getting questions like this at the very least. If he doesn't want to be in this relationship, great. Then he can leave that, continue to be the coach at North Carolina as well. But he's going to have to answer these questions as long as he's the coach. Or if he wants to just continue being with her and not being the coach and not get the questions, he can do that. He can just not be the coach.
If he is I'm sorry, how old is he? He's 69?
Yeah, he's old.
Right? If he just wants to be a 69-year-old man at home with a 24-year-old girlfriend, that's fine.
You can do that in the privacy of your own deal.
That's relatively normal-ish, I guess, and we'll just let it happen. But if you're out here coaching a football team and saying, I'm okay, everything's fine, and all of this is collapsing around you, you're going to get questions about it.
Yep.
You don't have to answer them. You really don't have to answer them, but they're going to keep coming the more you keep not answering them.
That's the latest. She told at least one person that they are engaged. If it's true, congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Can't wait to see that star-studded affair.
Congratulations. Great news. Joe Lunardi came out with a bracketology today for the 2026, updated, by the way.
Finally. God.
Can't wait to see what the next update says, but everybody looks for their teams as they always do.
Where the Jays headed.
The Jays and the Skurs are both on the bubble.
Whoa, bubble.
Honk, honk. The Jays are one of the last 4 byes.
What?
As a 9 seed in St. Louis playing Alabama. That rivalry will never end. And the Huskers are one of the first 4 out.
Oh, disrespect.
So they're going back to the crown.
Which is better than getting your brains beat in the tournament.
Yeah. Now, you guys would have to admit it at that point. If they go to the crown 2 years in a row, nobody would actually enjoy that. Being one of the first teams left out of the tournament.
I think you're wrong, Connor.
No, they would admit
I think people would go, it was fun last year. It'll be fun again this year.
They would admit it, right? They would admit it at that point. You can't go to the crown 2 years in a row.
You can if you win it both times.
Omaha is not the Summit League representative.
Wow.
On this list. So, Lunardi...
he's getting the updates, right? He knows that Creighton's going to score roughly 200 points a game.
He's
right?
probably wondering the same thing as everybody else is. Who's going to play defense on that team? You know?
I guess.
Last 4 byes. It would be hilarious if they played Alabama, though. Just that rivalry will just never... It's the fiercest rivalry in college basketball.
I'm sick of those guys.
Yeah, 3 years in a row. They played them in the NCAA tournament several years ago as well. There's one more story that I wanted to get to. Yeah. I don't know if we have enough time, though. The whole Tim Lester... Maybe we'll save this for later in the week. So Iowa's offensive coordinator...
this guy's saying stuff.
He has some really bold claims about what Iowa's offense is going to do for next year, but I don't know that we have time. I don't know that we have time to get into it, but I really would like to. But we don't have time.
Well, it's that or the Caitlin Clark thing.
We don't have time for the Caitlin Clark thing either. Shucks. We'll come back. We'll get to the polls. We'll tell you what to watch. On the other side, on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
You made me do this. This is on you, producer Josh.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Here's the truth. When storms strike, your home needs fast, reliable care. Hi, this is Kevin with TDH Contracting in Waterloo, Nebraska. We are your local go-to for roofing.
All right. Welcome back for the Connor Happer Show here on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. We had poll questions today, Josh.
We do.
We had a few of them. So let's evaluate. Let's see what we got today. There were some great Photoshops from before the show from RC Cola, who Photoshopped Josh's head really perfectly onto a very buff steroid guy.
I like it.
Did you see that?
That's just me, Connor.
That's not your arms, Josh.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Looks like it could be, though.
My traps.
Yeah, you don't have a neck.
Look at those sweet traps.
Is Red Lobster great for a first date?
Absolutely not.
No, it's not. Did somebody make that claim? I know
Matt McMaster did. He said, next time I'm going to take my first date to a Red Lobster.
He was really excited about just Red Lobster in general. I didn't hear the claim about the first date. That very questionable.
Right. He said next time I have a first date, it was kind of sad. He was like, I'm going to take her to Red Lobster.
Okay. 63% say no. 63, which is not
as high as it should be.
No. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
You do you.
Are loud keyboards Gen Z's forbidden fruit?
I got to think they are after the TikTok challenge you presented us.
76% say yes. Wow. Have you ever wanted to see inside of a Wiener Mobile?
Absolutely.
Yes. 59% say yes. And finally, should the Pirates try?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely, they should.
I would recommend that to any baseball franchise. 53% say yes, but just 53.
Probably a lot of Cubs fans in that.
Yeah, basically
poll.
50-50. People are like, I don't care if they try or not. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
Ownership for the Pirates is going to take that.
Yeah.
See, we don't have to.
This is awesome.
We don't have to try. We are watching the NBA Western Conference Finals Game 1 tonight on ESPN. Wolves at the Thunder, 7:30 start time there. WNBA, the Fightin' Caitlin Clarks are on NBA TV at 6 o'clock. They host Atlanta. Yeah, she's always fighting with people.
Okay. Is this like a Trump nickname? You're calling her Fightin' Caitlin Clark now?
That's right. That's the lane I'm going to take. NHL Eastern Conference Finals Game 1 on TNT, 7 o'clock puck drop for the Panthers and the Hurricanes. MLB on TBS, Mets, Red Sox at 6 o'clock. MLB Network at 9 o'clock for Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Big Ten baseball tournament well underway at the Chuck. I believe Illinois beat Michigan in the first game of the day.
6, 5, and 10.
Rutgers, Indiana starting at some point. He gestures wildly behind him.
There's nothing up there now.
And then followed by Michigan State and Nebraska at an even later time than that. And while you're waiting for all that baseball, why not fire up the Netflix, Connor, and watch The Fall of Favre? The eye-opening documentary delves into Brett Favre's controversial career, the dark side of sports stardom, and the scandals that marred his legacy.
One thing that I've enjoyed about the conference finals going on and the Knicks being this out of place team with all the Midwest teams is, so I've seen a lot of back and forth. Like the Knicks fans saw how much the get-in price was for Game 7 with Denver. It was like $100 or something like that.
Well, here.
And the Knicks fans are like, what the heck? Why don't I live in Oklahoma City? I couldn't get even within a block of Madison Square Garden for $100.
You could have space in your living quarters in Oklahoma City. Think of how much your apartment or house costs in New York.
Yeah. But there's a certain amount of pride from the New Yorkers, it seemed like, in how much stuff costs, which I thought was a weird angle.
Weird
to take.
flex.
Yeah. It's like, I'm cool. I like it out here where it's not $100 or where it's not $500 to get into a basketball game. But you do you.
Is that why you don't care about prices at the grocery store? Because you got some New York in you and you're just like, price doesn't matter.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe every time I go to the grocery store, I think to myself, this would be twice as much in New York. That's a really good way to rationalize it, Josh. Interesting.
That's right.
All right. Anyway, that's what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Let's do an afternoon crossover coming up next.